It is the Rob Brown Show without the Rob Brown. The Rob Brown is out of town. I'm not trying to rap here, Lonzo. That just happened naturally.
Do not put a the in front of his name. That's my deal. Okay.
Put a what?
Don't put a the in front of. He's not the Rob Brown. He's just Rob Brown.
Well, his Twitter name is the Rob Brown.
Yeah, but there's only one the in this room, and that would be the Lonzo.
I agree with that. But the Lonzo doesn't even sound good. I am filling in.
Sounds better than Alonzo.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I hadn't done that in a while. I totally forgot about that. It's been a while. Anyways, I am filling in for Rob Brown today. Cole Bryson, good to be with you. It's been a while. It's been about a year. You and I did a show last year together. I don't know if you remember or not, but I was remote. But it has been 2 years since I've been able to be in the same room as the Lonzo.
Yeah, when we're in the same room, it usually means that someone called in.
Yeah, really. I mean, could you sleep last night?
I was pretty excited. I was, and then
2 years.
And then I showed up, and there's some weirdo like videoing me when I get out of the car, and I'm like
paparazzi.
Yeah, it was like,
great.
Yeah.
Everything for the most part looks the same. I think it's been about 2 years roughly since I've been here.
The carpet is a nice touch, though. It takes some.
How new is that?
I don't know, 6 months.
Did you get a carpet sponsor?
Not that I'm aware of. And how they did it, they're like squares.
Isn't that how you do carpet?
No, I think carpet comes in like a big roll normally. These are like
sod.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did. They glued down the squares. They were quick too.
Was it like team effort?
No, the carpet company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had people to come and do it.
One of those, hey guys, we need y'all, everybody here.
Yeah, that was my knees will not. No, thank you.
Yeah, everything looks the same. I mean, the carpet's a nice touch. Building looks. Did they get rid of the chicken salad place?
No, it's still over there.
They put a dental place instead.
Yeah, no, it's further down. It's on the corner. It's still there. You'll see when we're getting ready to go off the air. You'll see the line.
Man, I was disappointed when I pulled in this morning.
No, it's still there. Yeah,
I used to eat there. I mean, that was a good place. And so, are you sure? 100%. We're confident it's still there.
Yes, I'm 100% confident it's still there.
100% of me thought that they replaced it with.
Yeah,
I saw the dental sign. See it right there?
Yeah. I see the dental sign. Yeah. So it's further down towards Woodruff. It's still there where it's always been. You just don't remember this. You'll see the drive-through line build up right around noon, right around 11:30.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
Going right around the corner and blocking all traffic and any way to get out.
Out of town much, but I mean, I forgot. I like I said, it's just. I got all excited, and then I pulled in this morning, thought the chicken salad place moved, and I was upset.
By the way, for those of you really quick, we are live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, I apologize.
So that's okay because Steven on the stream says, Cole, Rob loves to take his shoes and socks off and fill the carpet on his bare feet. I recommend you try. No, Rob has a foot thing. He doesn't like
fetish or
no. I don't think it's a fetish. Although you could hide a fetish by saying that you don't like feet. I mean, that's one way to hide it.
So you don't like feet at all?
No. So on occasion, today I didn't, but usually I will wear what the kids today call slides.
Yeah.
What I call sandals.
Without socks though?
Yeah.
Dude, see,
you wear socks with that's
you don't wear socks without socks, Lonzo.
Tell me they're not. Dude, aren't you from South Carolina?
Yeah, I wear flip-flops. I wear rainbows without socks.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, but
Those
I can't handle right. I can't handle things between my toes. But anyway, Rob doesn't like it. One day, yeah, I am. Look at the hair. One day he lost a bet and had to have his shoes off in the studio, and he just didn't even go to the restroom because he wasn't allowed to put his shoes on to go. Huh? No, he just sit there and he just held it for the entire show.
Oh, he couldn't touch the carpet?
No, he could. He wouldn't because he's got a foot thing. So he didn't want his foot on the carpet.
Oh, so he likes he's a germ freak when it comes to his own feet.
Yeah. And there's some other people in the building who are like, how can you walk around with your shoes off? It's like, I'm not eating with my feet.
Well, I wouldn't walk around the hallways without it. I mean, you might get, what's that thing called? Foot locker?
What? Hoof and mouth disease? I don't know. I don't think it's Foot Locker though. I don't.
I forgot what it's called. It's something. It's athlete's foot.
See, well, you can get that anywhere. I mean, so you never walked around the locker room with your shoes off?
God, that's gross. Oh,
okay.
Go to the gym, have to wear. If you go to shower, like for example, if I shower at the gym, you have to wear some kind of. Would you go barefoot at the gym?
In the locker room, yeah.
Oh God.
Maybe it's an age
That's
thing.
terrible.
You're calling me a diva. I mean,
That's terrible.
see. There is this. Maybe it's a misconception that people in the South walk around without their shoes on.
Outside.
What's the difference? You're gonna catch more things outside walking with your feet off in the grass. You might cut it with some glass or get stung by something.
Okay. That's fine. You take the chances, but not where other people's feet.
Well, I will tell you, management types such as myself here believe it's okay to have your shoes off.
I should wear my flip flops today.
You should have. I mean,
Rainbow Friday.
I know there's a guy down the hall walks around with the shoes off all the time.
Really?
Yeah. He's
like a thing around
he's a shorter guy. No, just a cool people.
They hang out together. People who wear
on occasion, but that much star power in one room, it's hard to contain. There's a big room down the hall though, so we just like sit at either end.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, well, you've been away for a while.
Yeah,
I in between all the interviews and everything, I have some questions for you about where you lived for a while.
Yeah, okay.
Because you got to do something, even though you weren't a fan of, that you sent me pictures of. And I really want to talk to you about the
wrestling,
the backstage type thing.
Oh, we'll do it.
Yeah,
you want to talk about the backstage WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it.
Because I think that's something that most people don't get to hear about. And you were backstage because you took pictures and showed them to me.
Yeah, and you know what? I had a lot of friends tell me that, like, oh my God, and again, it was neat, but I'm not. I'm not into fake.
It's the equivalent of being in a locker room like after a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, or
other than it's not real.
See, you can say all that, but it doesn't matter. There are billions of people who are fans, and it's getting bigger now. Especially, I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, but it's on the rise again. And some people like yourself think it's cool to make fun of it, and that's fine. I don't care. I mean, if you watch a reality show, if you watch anything on TV, or if you watch a movie, they're all scripted too.
I haven't made fun of it yet. Not today.
Yeah, and most of those guys that you saw, would you walk up to them and make fun of them?
No,
you actually
they're
might.
Athletes.
Yeah.
They're athletes. So I've never said they're not athletes.
Bigger than life athletes. We've had some of them sitting right in this room. And
did I sent you the picture of me and Bobby Lashley?
Yes.
Did he look small compared to me?
Yeah, he did. I mean, because you're swollen now. Yeah, I don't know what happened while you were in Dallas, but
I got swole somewhere else.
Okay.
I mean, not in the right parts. Not in the right parts thanks to the barbecue. But yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll do that. A big show today. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown. You can text the show 71307. We do have the show question for the day. We'll answer it. Lonzo will answer it. I'll answer it at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. we will answer the show question. I'll get to that in just a second. We can get your thoughts as well from the listener. Text 71307. Start your message with fan. We do have a few guests lined up today. A lot going on. It is May. A lot of people call it the dead season for radio, but there is a lot going on today. We will talk a little bit of Clemson baseball at 9:20 coming up in just a few minutes. Clemson is on, I guess, what you'd call a hot streak. I don't even know at this point. Maybe it's maybe more than that. Will Vandervort from All Clemson will join us at 9:20. We will talk to Landon Powell, the head baseball coach of the North Greenville Crusaders. They start their NCAA Division II Super Regional today. The games that were scheduled tomorrow, I'm all mixed up here. The Saturday games got moved to today, so they will play 2 games today right here in Greenville County. NCAA Division II Super Regionals. We'll talk to Landon Powell at 10:25 to get his thoughts on that. And then finally, Lonzo. I know you don't live in Spartanburg over my way, but the Spartanburg scene has just all of a sudden hit its climax. If you saw it this past week, I don't know if you saw it all over the news.
If you're talking about the baseball,
baseball team is coming, baby.
We talked about it. We had Mayor Rice on. I had a wonderful conversation with him about it. Yeah, he is. He's excited.
Super good guy.
At the end of that interview, he and Rob pretty much challenged each other to who could throw the fastest pitch.
Really?
Yeah, I think Mayor Rice might be in trouble. Although I hear he's an athlete.
Oh, he is.
I saw Rob Brown throw out a first pitch, and he's got some heat. I'm just saying. Yeah, I was there. I was right behind him when he did it. Oh, it was a strike for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, it was over the plate.
No kidding.
So yeah, we were at the I don't think they're around anymore, the Spartanburgers game, and we were there.
That was
and
a one and done.
yeah, it was fun though. I got to lead YMCA, and I like messed up the sign.
That's
thing.
why I think that's why they said, all right,
yeah,
we've had enough of this.
Yeah, he was here once. We can't get him here every week, so
let's just go ahead and shut this thing down.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
But they are currently the Wood Ducks, the team in North Carolina. They're an affiliate of the Texas Rangers. I love the name. I mean,
there's no way they stick with Wood Ducks.
They've got to, though. They've got to. I love the name. I don't know if they will. We'll talk to Pete Yanity of WSPA. He has a little in-depth knowledge, as you know, he does everything else in the world about this as well. Do we welcome the Wood Ducks?
Last time I talked to Pete, he was on. He's like, Lonzo, do you work everywhere? It's like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I do.
He is. You know, we don't have encyclopedias anymore. But he's the closest thing we have left to an encyclopedia. You know what?
The last time I saw him live, we were at the NCAA tournament at the Well, and me and him were both in an elevator, and the door was waiting, and there was a guy trying to pick up the trash, and he kept dropping the bag, and he would pick it back up, and he kept dropping it, and we're just trying not to laugh the whole time.
Did you help?
No. Come on.
Oh, too big.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, you know, it's your job. Do your job. I mean, you know, if you can't do your job correctly, you don't need my help. You need some better training, I suppose.
Evidently, but a big show coming up today. We have plenty of guests, plenty of topics. We will welcome your thoughts as well. As I said, text line open all show 71307. Start your message with fan. There is a lot to get to, but I want to open the show 12 minutes late with a topic that I want to get your thoughts on as well, Lonzo. But, you know, the NBA finals are going on right now, and in the world we live in, we see so many we see so many debates and conversations about comparisons. This player compared to that player, whether it's LeBron Jordan or Steph Bird. We see so many comparisons. And Lonzo, I want to start with this. I want to take a different angle to this topic of how we compare eras in sports, because we always throw it out. We always compare guys, but we never sit back. We never step back and say, okay, let's ask this question, Lonzo. I'm going to ask it today. You and I are going to do a quick ranking 1 to 5. You come up with your ranking 1 to 5. I'm going to come up with my ranking from 1 to 5. We are going to rank the sports. I have the 5 options. I'll give them to you in a second. We're going to rank the sports from easiest, number 1, to most difficult, number 5. The easiest sports to compare eras, the easiest sports to compare players from different eras, all the way to 5, which is the most difficult. So 1 being the easiest, 5 being the most difficult. The 5 choices that we're playing with today are NFL, NBA, MLB, college football, and number 5 is golf. Those are in no particular order, but we always want to compare players. And Lonzo, I do think that you can compare. The big debate is, can you compare players from different eras? Most I don't want to say older heads, but most older heads say, no, you can't compare players from different eras. I say you can. I absolutely think you can compare players from different eras. You have to bring the context into each conversation and each comparison and each debate. I get that, but you can't compare them. This person's game versus this person's game, you can absolutely compare. Just because it's a different era doesn't mean you can't compare it. So, Lonzo, we'll start with these. Again, the choices are NFL, NBA, MLB, golf, and college football. Those are the 5, no particular order. 1 being the easiest, 5 being the most difficult. I will start with my 1, and then I'll go to you. I'm going to put number 1, golf, the sport of golf. I'm not a golf guy at all, but I will put the sport of golf at number 1, the easiest sport to compare players from different eras. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I absolutely agree. That's my 1 also.
So were you going to say that?
Yeah, I was. Okay. Yeah. As you were saying that, I'm writing down my rankings. So
golf, the game of golf hasn't really changed like these other sports. Is that fair?
Well, the equipment has changed. I think it's a little bit easier to hit the longer ball, and the way people condition and stuff like that too. The bigger, faster, stronger thing doesn't really apply entirely to golf, because we've seen guys who go out and hit the gym and they come back and they lose something. They lose some flexibility, they lose some accuracy. But in the end, I think golf is just lowest score, and there are guys who can drive it farther now than anyone ever could, but maybe their short game isn't as good. So I think out of the 5 you said, it's got to be the easiest to compare.
Your thoughts, 71307. Start your text with FAN. We will come back to this as well during the show when you send your thoughts in. But Lonzo and I both agree that golf is number 1. What we're doing is we're ranking sports 1 to 5, 1 being easiest, 5 being most difficult, on the ability to compare players from different eras. I thought we would both have golf at 1, Lonzo. Now, I will be interesting to see. I'm interested to see what your number 2 is. I'll go to you first for your number 2, and then I'll give you mine. What is your second easiest sport when you're talking about comparing players from different
that would be baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would be baseball. And yeah, again, equipment changes from era to era. They try to make things more aerodynamic so the ball can go further. There's there are rules now. There are things you can't get away with that you could back in the day as far as cheating goes for pitchers, and pine tar on bats and things like that. But out of the 5, I got to go the easiest. The second easiest is definitely baseball.
See, I was gonna go college football at 2. And I think I'm still going to go college football at 2. Has the game of college football really changed that much?
But see, from what I understand what the argument is, so if you take a guy from this era and put him back in that era, could they do that?
Absolutely.
Well, if you take a college football player right now, like the top guy, and put him back in, let's say, 1975, they're going to dominate.
But you don't think
baseball and golf, I think it's basically going to be kind of the same.
But you don't think a guy from the 70s or 80s who was uber talented in college football wouldn't be talented today, or you think the athleticism would catch up to him?
I think, just look at 40 times from now to what they were back then. There were still some fast guys, but everybody's fast now.
That's good. That's good.
And everyone's big now. The linemen back in those days were probably, between 250 to 285. Now a lineman is like 320 to 350. I'm going
MLB 3.
Okay.
Where are you going 3?
3, I am going with NBA.
Ooh. So you have the 2 footballs left. So you're going 3 NBA. So you're basically, so if we're saying 1 is least difficult and 5 is most difficult, you're saying NBA is right in the middle. That I guess there's not a definite argument for either one, Lonzo. Here, if you're saying NBA is in the middle, you're saying okay, a player from Jordan's era could play in today's era. Also, maybe a player from today's era could play in Jordan's era. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just a matter of learning the rules.
Yeah.
And some would thrive more today than they did back then because they wouldn't be getting beat to death.
Absolutely. My 4 is not the NBA, Lonzo. My 4 is the NFL. I think the NFL's physicality makes it really difficult to adapt to today's game. I think the players are more athletic. I think the players are more talented than we've ever seen in terms of their skills with the new technology we have. I'm going NFL 4, and as we end the segment, I'm going NBA 5. What is your 4 and what is your 5?
4 is college football, 5 is the NFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
NFL 5.
Yeah.
You think it's the most difficult?
I do, because, again, of size and speed. The size and speed of the fattest lineman today is faster than some of the running backs back in the day.
We'll come back to that. I do want to come back to that. That's an interesting take. I don't know that I completely agree with that, but we'll come back to it. It is time to talk about the hottest team in the country, quite possibly right here in the upstate, Clemson baseball. We'll talk Clemson baseball up next with Will Vandervort. He covers the Tigers. He will get you set on the Clemson's ACC tournament run. They play here in just a couple of hours. We'll talk to them next here on The Fan.
All right, keep in mind, we're still on. If you would like to go off the stream for a bit, you let me know, and I will do that.
Should we stay on or go off?
I'd like staying on.
Let's stay on. All right.
What's up, Trey?
Let's stay on. So I'm new to the stream. I don't have to talk into the mic.
The mic will pick up anything in the room as long as it's in utility and as long as you're not muted.
How that works, but okay.
So yeah, just talk.
All right. So we've got Trey, Steven, Jonathan. What do you leave a link? Was that like spam or something? Click it and the computer crashes? Click it, Lonzo. Let's see what happens.
I'm not doing that.
Steven says, "Oh, all right, let's fill the carpet. We're doing it. I'm filling the carpet. I'm taking my shoes off. I want to feel the carpet.
It's not bad. It's not.
Do you think I'll have a disease when I leave here?
No.
It's not. Wouldn't be any fun if I didn't, right? All right, guys. Steven, I'm taking your advice. Trey, what's up? Rob loves to take his. Wonder who has better looking feet, me or Rob?
Oh, well, there's no doubt. It's probably, I don't care.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say Rob, but there again, I don't want to give him that much
Steven,
credit.
who do you think has better feet? We've got five. It says my mic is muted. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's technical.
So they can hear me?
Yes, you're good.
We've got 5 whole people on the stream.
There's usually a little bit more, but they didn't think that we were actually going to stream since Rob wasn't here.
They just didn't. They just thought Rob was gone. So the whole thing's shutting down. No show, no stream. Did I send you Will's number?
You did.
Perfect. All right, guys.
It's a long break. I'll
guys,
call him in a
let's pull
second.
the feet out. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Lonzo. I'm not trying to brag, but I may have missed a calling. I could make some money off these bad boys.
Well, there you go. I mean, there are foot models out there.
That's what I'm saying. Sell feet pics, baby.
Yeah, but now Rob's gonna have to sanitize when he comes back.
Oh, I could put it over. I could put my feet on everything.
Yeah, well, I do that on occasion and send him a picture, especially on Saturdays, which it's Snowshoe Saturday.
That's the problem, though. I don't know if I can get my feet up that high. I'm not gonna handstand or anything. All right. Oh, the problem is they'll see the bottom. Nobody wants to see the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, would you slide that way, or just put your feet up that way?
Nope.
Yeah, you can move the camera. You can do that.
All right.
Don't squeeze it too far though. You'll pull it out the thing.
There we go.
Look at this. There we go. Feet.
Bam.
Oh no.
Bam.
Oh no. Somewhere Diesel just passed out.
It looks pretty good, don't you? I think they are definitely in the conversation.
I don't know. I think you need to work on matching the foot tan with the face tan. I mean, you gotta line that up. Yeah, I get it. But so when you're out fishing, you don't try to pull the socks down a little.
I guess I'll try better. No, the carpet does feel good though. It feels pretty new.
It's not like shag carpet, but it's not bad.
God, that's the worst.
I don't know.
Shag carpet.
Having carpet between your toes.
Oh, and oof.
I was a little kid in the 70s. I mean, shag was everywhere.
I remember. I mean, I can't tell you the last time Oh, we missed some comments. Let's see. It's Cole from Spartanburg. I am from Spartanburg. Trey, are you from Spartanburg? Where did you go to high school? I went to Boiling Springs.
Oh, no.
Rob also loves to put his bare feet on his desk. I think I see what you're doing. I'm not sure I'm picking up on what you're laying down there, Trey, but it looks darker now. Did I mess the camera up? I may have.
Cursed it. I hate this phone. I swear I do.
I think it's darker, but maybe it's okay. Maybe that's probably better. People don't have to
put your hand over it for a second.
Best view they've had all day right there.
Now pull it back.
Ah.
There you
go. Ooh.
And then it immediately went dark.
It did.
You could put this over there.
The contrast.
Will, please. Hey, this is Lonzo, Rob Brown Show. Cole Bryson, that's his name. He set up an interview with you. All right. We got about a minute left in this break. Hold on.
Yep. I need to get ready for this. These guys on Facebook have me distracted.
Here's what you can do. You can move this over.
What the heck is that?
It's a ring light.
We're doing makeup?
I mean, with the keyboard, so I don't.
Oh, sorry. Good grief, Lonzo. We're getting big time over here. Oh, right there is fine. That's good. Oh, my God. What?
There you go.
What on earth?
If you don't want it.
No, leave it.
You can adjust. You can move it. You can move it down. There's lots of things you can do.
Leave it.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can do it with the headphones.
Leave it. Got this freaking makeup light on me.
Look at you.
I can't do
that. That's big time.
Now I can't see.
That is big time right there. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. We're coming back. All right, we're coming back. That's the first break I think I've ever done and didn't say something inappropriate or something I shouldn't have said.
That's how to stop you from doing that.
Yeah,
all right. We'll be online all the time then.
Coming back. We're back with you on the Rob Brown Show, without Rob Brown. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown today on this Friday.
Wait. Did he send you an email and say you have to say Rob Brown 35 times per?
36.
Okay. All right.
36.
All right. Okay.
I'm halfway there. By the
You're
way.
almost there.
Halfway there. We are going to talk a little Clemson baseball, but before we do that, we need to welcome in the one we're going to talk with. He is Will Vandervort, writes for All Clemson. And Will, we appreciate you coming on today. How are you, man?
I'm good, guys. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing great. Before we get into Clemson baseball, Will, I do want to ask, I don't know if this was on your bingo card for today's topic of conversation or not, but P.J. Hall returning to Clemson. We'll start from the P.J. Hall point of view before we get to Brad Brownell. How big is this for him in terms of the longevity of his career, wanting to pursue, obviously, the NBA? He did some experimenting with that during the summer camp, obviously made a decision to come back to Clemson. Your thoughts on P.J. Hall returning to Clemson and what it means for the program?
Well, I think it's just the final piece of the puzzle for this coming season. Now, first of all, no surprise that he's coming back. Everything that I heard and talked when I talked with people at Clemson was, PJ was going up there to just kind of see where he was, what he needed to improve on, get some instruction from the scouts and coaches up there on some things he needed to do better if he wanted to try to make it in the league, or even just as a professional for a long period of time, even overseas. This is, when they go to these things, and not just NBA that they're getting, recommendations for or advice for. It's a professional career, and you can do that many ways in basketball. So, it was a good experience. It's something he wanted to do, and I think he got what he wanted out of it. But as far as was there any major concern that he wasn't going to come back? I would say probably no, unless he just went up there and just totally balled out, and but not that he didn't, because he did. But they were going up there. You knew there were some things PJ needed to improve on before he goes professional, and so I think it was a good experience for him. Obviously, it's good for Clemson that he's coming back, because he's going to be the top returning scorer in the ACC returning this year. I think when you look at the additions that Clemson added from the transfer portal, plus who they got coming back, with a guy like Chase Hunter at guard, and Ian Shefflin, who really kind of took a turn last year near the end of the season. And I think he's going to be a real good number 3 or 4 guy for Clemson this year. I think it was just, this is final piece. And now I think this is a team that's set to, I think, make a run, not only the NCAA tournament, but I think they're a team that can make a run in the tournament when they get in.
Well, going off of that, and I completely agree, by the way, with what you said about PJ coming back and how that benefits him to get that, advice and knowledge from those guys. But does it benefit PJ more, or does it benefit Brownell more? Because we all know that the last, seems like it's been a decade of us talking about the same thing over and over and over. But does this really, in terms of Brad Brownell's future at Clemson, without PJ Hall this year, I know that you said that everybody thought he was coming back, but without PJ Hall, this thing might get kind of iffy. Is this bigger for Brownell?
I think anytime your star player returns, it's definitely big for the head coach in any situation, whether he's a coach that doesn't have to worry about job security, or a coach that is kind of, needs to get to the tournament and have a good to great year again. So yeah, it's huge for Brownell, and I think Brownell will tell you that. And now they're in a position where they should make the tournament. I mean, I think, let's be honest, guys, they should have made the tournament last year. I mean, it's ridiculous they didn't. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, but look what happened in NIT. And I was like, no, that's not the same. You could tell that team was not in it, that they were disappointed. And I always tell everybody, the NIT result was a direct reflection of they put everything they could into making that tournament. And when they didn't, they were disappointed. Right. Just like any of us in life, when something doesn't go our way, it takes us a little bit to get over it. And that was the case for them, because they should have been in the NCAA tournament. Why Pittsburgh and NC State were in and not Clemson, to this day boggles my mind. But you know what? I guess, it's not about wins and losses on the courts anymore. It's about, what your RPI ranking is and how many quad one wins you have, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, instead of what happens head to head on the court.
Will Vandervort joining us right here on The Fan. Will, listen, Clemson basketball, obviously excited about that news yesterday. Clemson baseball this time of year lately hasn't had a lot of things to be excited about in the past few years. I want to go back to right here in Greenville early in the season, and I hate that this series is early in the season. Maybe it's just me, but every year South Carolina and Clemson play. The folks in Clemson get a look at them. The folks in Carolina or in Columbia get a look at them, and the folks in Greenville right here get a look at them. And I feel like it's never a really good indication of the two teams. It's not a good indicator of what the teams will be. But I don't know that anybody will, unless you just had a feeling about, Bakich in his first year. I don't know that anybody that saw Clemson play that weekend against Carolina thought that, all these months later, 3 months later, would be in this position talking about them being the hottest team in the country.
If you asked me 6.5 weeks ago, I would have told you there's no way.
Right.
This season. But yeah, that's the kind of, he said something the other night after the game where he talked about how, the players stayed with it. And, it's easy for players to kind of look at a new coach and say, all this stuff, the classroom training, the on-field training, the different things they were doing, they could have been easily said, this ain't working, coach, or we're 16 and 14 and, it's just not working. But they didn't. They didn't make any excuses. They stuck with what the coaches were teaching them. And sure enough, they felt like it was going to pay it off. Look, I was talking to, not only Eric Bakich said it, he said it right after the Wake Forest series, but before that, I was talking to players and managers and other coaches before then, and they were telling me, hey, guys, we're this close. We're literally this close because we felt like we've had chances to win some of these games. You talk about that South Carolina series. They felt like they should have won that second game against South Carolina in Greenville, had a 4-run lead going into the 8th inning and blew it. They had a similar situation against Duke. A couple games they could have won, ended up losing by 1 run. They did the same thing against Wake Forest, who's the number 1 team in the country, lost 2 1-run games, including one where they had a lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. So, they felt like they were really, really close to really going on a run. And sure enough, they were all right. And they're playing, they're not only hitting the ball well, but they're getting good pitching, especially from their bullpen. Their weekend starters have improved immensely, going deep into the game, which is helping the bullpen out. And then, the bats have been good all year. And you always knew if they could just get the rest of that settled, that they would probably have a chance. And because of their offense, and now you're seeing it all kind of come together. And they've been a real good defensive team all year too, for the most part. So they got all the pieces, and that's why they're 24-4 since April the 4th, which is amazing. That's the best record in the country by far. they got a chance here to add to it today against Boston College.
Well, tell me if I'm totally off on this, and I may be, but I'm just asking because you know better than me when it comes to, where we are in this point in the season. But does South Carolina skid? Does their downfall toward the end of the year help Clemson's chances at all hosting a regional with, I just don't know how the NC or the committee looks at, them both hosting. They're both in contention. Does South Carolina's downfall over the last month help Clemson's chances at all of hosting a regional?
Well, I think it's helped, yes, but I also think it's helped that when you look at Clemson's, their RPI and their strength of schedule, it's right up there with South Carolina's, and the fact that Clemson's winning, that definitely helps. And it helps them that they beat Coastal Carolina twice, because that's another team that's being considered for a regional, right?
Right.
So I think Clemson, from everything I've heard, Clemson's going to be a top 8 seed regardless of what happens today. So Clemson's getting a regional, and they got an opportunity if they win that to get a super regional. So South Carolina, I know, is iffy right now. It depends on the day of the week, whether they're going to get it. But to ask did it help? Yeah, sure it did. It's just one less thing the committee's really having to worry about. I think right now the committee's going to decide between South Carolina and Coastal Carolina. I think when it comes down to it, both may get it. But it may just come down to just one gets it. It's just hard for me to imagine that 3 teams in the state of South Carolina will be hosting a regional, so we'll see what happens there. But I think right now Carolina's going to get one. But we'll see how the committee thinks, when they get into Selection Sunday.
Absolutely. Will, today, top 20 matchup here in just a couple of hours. Boston College, a really formidable team. Obviously, Clemson feels like they know them pretty well. What from the coverage that you've had just over the past couple of days, talking to the players and hearing the comments from the coach and Bakich and everybody else, does this team feel like nobody can stop them right now? And basically the second part of that question is Boston College, even though they are a very good team, right now, to me, it kind of feels like Clemson's the only team that's going to get in Clemson's way.
Well, you're right. I think that's true. I do think there is a level of confidence right now with this team that they feel like they can win every game when they come out onto the field. They feel like they're the better team and that they're going to do something that's going to get them over the top. And we saw that the other night. Virginia Tech's up 5-3. Virginia Tech makes that one error, and then Clemson pounces on it, and they go score 7 runs in that inning with 2 outs and take control of that game. They've been doing that during this whole streak. Now, they've won 13 straight games. To let you know, the last team to beat Clemson was Boston College, game 2 of their series up there in Chestnut Hill. So Clemson won the series 2-1, but BC is the last team to beat Clemson. So BC knows they can beat them. And BC's a very good baseball team. As you mentioned, it's a top 20 matchup. The Eagles, they're trying to see if they can host a regional. They got a very good record, 35-17. They finished 3rd behind Clemson in the ACC Atlantic Division. They feel like if they could win this game today, then they make a strong case to be able to host a regional. They're a top 15 RPI team, so with Clemson being as high as they are in the RPI, this would be a big win for Boston College and them wanting to host a regional. And also, guys, more importantly, the winner of this game goes to the ACC semifinals.
Yep.
This is a matchup to see who goes to the semifinals. So, there's a lot at stake on this, and I think you're going to see both teams give their best effort.
Will, always a pleasure talking to you, man. Great stuff as always, and we appreciate you taking time right before the game today to come on and talk a little Clemson baseball.
All right, guys. I appreciate you having me, man. Y'all have a good rest of your show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Will Vandervort. He writes for All Clemson. Clemson today, 11 a.m. first pitch against Boston College. As I said, it is a top 20 matchup. So up in Durham, we should have a result, by early afternoon. And like you said, obviously both teams are wanting to host a regional, but more importantly, they're one game closer to the ACC championship. So
how cool would it be if South Carolina, the state, was able to host 3?
I wanted to ask him this, and I'm sure he didn't know off the top of his head, but number one, I don't think that's ever happened. And number two, will it ever happen? I mean, 3 regionals in one state? I guess going back to question 1, has it ever happened in South Carolina? I would assume the answer is no. I wonder if it's happened in any state. I mean, maybe Texas,
Texas, California, maybe something like that. But the other thing about it is, if you look regionally, they're all in 3 different spots in the state.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're real close together. So
no, it's perfect. Upstate, Midlands, and Low Country. As small as a state as South Carolina is, to be able to have a chance to host 3 regionals, that would be that'd be pretty insane. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know that it'll happen, but hey, we'll see. We'll see it. As Will said, Clemson has a very good chance, and those wins over Coastal help a lot. So, Clemson, Boston College, 11 a.m. final segment of our number 1 coming your way. We still have a ton to get to. The text line is open, 71307. Start your message with FAN. It's the Rob Brown Show. Cole Bryson filling in, sitting alongside Lonzo and all of his glory on the FAN.
So normally we get a little bit more as far as people on the stream, but I didn't put it on Rob's YouTube because
Rob has the following. What you're saying?
No, but it's his own personal YouTube, and so I didn't want to do that. I probably should have, just cause. Just to tell him, if you're listening or watching, Rob, you can't stop me. I could do it. You can just take it off.
What are you gonna do? You gonna drive up here? Will was a great interview with him. That's super knowledgeable.
Yeah. Again, you want off the stream, you let me know. I got ways to do that.
Leave it. Screw it. Rated R, baby.
I just like to stare into people's living rooms.
You think that's where they're sitting? Josh said, morning dudes, Josh Walford. You think they're sitting at home?
No, they're not. They're not.
Working,
we've got a big contingent, what we call the Armada, bunch of delivery drivers and stuff.
Oh, really?
That listen. Yeah, it's really cool.
Delivery drivers like UPS?
Yeah, stuff like that.
FedEx? 18-wheeler drivers?
I don't know about that, probably. Well, actually, I do know about that because a couple of those guys showed up when we first got the new merch when we switched to come in and get some. Yeah.
I think I picked the station up. I was in Anderson yesterday, and I was almost too late. And I think it was choppy, but I think I got it for the most part.
I think the Spartanburg signal is the stronger one.
Yeah.
So if I have trouble picking something up, I'll do. And there's always the Odyssey app.
Yeah, there is.
Which you can do that.
I know. It takes effort.
Effort, yes, it does.
You know what's crazy though?
So you don't have your phone plugged into your thing.
Yeah.
I get you.
I'll be honest with you. I'm on the Odyssey app. That's all I listen to.
Wow. I don't know who's posting that, but obviously it has to be someone in the building.
What did he say?
Quarter zip Lonzo is incredible and Cole is very pretty. Yeah, I know who that is. There's only one person that talks that way. And I didn't put it on your YouTube channel because I thought that would be presumptive and I didn't want to do that. So that's got to be Rob.
He does have,
that's got to be Rob. He's the only one that talks that.
The professional.
Yeah. See, I knew it. No, you can take it down, then I put it back up.
I wonder if he saw the feed earlier. I bet he missed it. Man, I hope he didn't. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it? Going back to the whole signal thing. This is a very second grade level education statement here, Lonzo. But we have mountains and hills and stuff here.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you a first grade answer. Then.
I didn't realize how crazy the difference between FM frequency and ranges, like in Texas. Like they have a 100,000 watt signal to the station I listen to out there, but I'm talking I could drive 3 hours and be almost on the west side of the state and still pick up the state. Obviously, what I'm saying is I knew that the mountains and the hills have.
Yeah, they do definitely affect.
Crazy how much
atmosphere affects too. The atmosphere.
What do you mean by that?
The sun. I know how this sounds, but the sun, humidity. There's a lot of things. Talk to an engineer. They'll talk to you for an hour.
True, really?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I believe
there are even sun outages. They'll send you emails saying there are sun outages for some signals, depending on the sunspots and stuff.
Say that second word again.
Sun outages.
Outages.
I thought
you said allergist.
No. Hey man, I'm sorry I didn't enunciate well enough. Yeah. You talked the entire time. That's not my fault.
We all asked me to host a freaking radio show.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're still talking on the stream.
All right.
That's what radio is now, Cole.
You get no break now. You know that?
I told you I could give you a break.
No breaks given here, Lonzo. I mean, come on, man.
Here's what
Can't
you
even go to the restroom.
Here's what you need to learn, Cole, is in this new age of radio, you're always on. I mean, especially if you're on stream,
Somebody needs to be told that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
man, it's like every day nowadays when you go on TikTok or Twitter, there's another hot mic situation. Is that not true? It's like every day. I heard one yesterday. It was really bad. I mean, I can't even say it. I can't even say it on the stream.
Well, as far as the stream goes, yeah, you can because it's not regulated.
I don't say it.
Yeah. Well, don't do it now, or I'll have to dump you. And, yeah.
But I'm saying,
I think you're one of the few people I've never dumped. So I may just do it before the show's over, just because I want to.
Our relationship.
There we go. Yeah, I dump everybody.
But all kidding aside, you say that statement again.
What about sun outages?
No, not sun outages. You said a statement a minute ago with a new. Say it again, just like you said it the first time, Lonzo.
Dude, we've been talking straight for like 46 minutes.
Said,
I don't know.
You said with the new age of radio, you're always
on.
You're always on.
Yeah, you are. I am on stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter normally 6 days a week. So I mean, there's a thing. And the one thing about radio, terrestrial radio, and I was taught this a long time ago by the late great Russ Castle, is tell them as much as you can about you, because then they feel like they know you. And if you feel like you know somebody, you're going to listen to them more. The good stuff and the bad stuff. Yeah. And so on stream, not only do you get to hear it, but we can have some conversations that may be off topic that are not necessarily sports related with the people on the stream, and learn a little more about each of us. Like we can, for the next 2 or 3 breaks, talk nothing but fishing.
We can do that on air, though.
Cole could talk nothing but fishing.
We can't do that on air?
No, you can do that. Fishing is a sport.
Hey, Josh said, I want to read this. Are we allowed to read the comments from the off air on the air?
Absolutely. Okay. That's part of the show.
Sure.
The stream.
This is your and Rob Brown show now. I didn't want to step on any toes.
All right, it's not that I'm giving permission. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rob would have enjoyed I've talked about my puffy appendix.
Stuff,
yes. He did. If Rob had seen the feet, he would no longer be on the stream right now.
It was their fault. It was one of the guys.
It was Steven. Yeah, Steven got you to do it. All right, you're going to read something from Josh.
Josh said, due to I don't even know if we're on air or on the break right now. That's what I'm saying. It all goes together.
Yeah, we're on air.
Due to living in the foothills and working around the low mountains near the North Carolina line, we lose signal all the time. That's why I stick to YouTube. Still lose signal, not just as much. What I was saying is, during the break, I felt kind of dumb when I lived in Texas. I didn't realize how much the lack of mountains affected like FM frequency. Is that what it's called? It goes like this. Obviously, the people on the radio can't hear me.
Yeah, but the people on the stream, check us out on the stream. Yep. YouTube, Facebook,
like
Twitter.
That. What I'm saying is, I didn't realize like here you can lose a signal near Lake Hartwell or something like that.
Yeah,
I
you
lost
can.
It yesterday.
You can. And you looked at me weird when I talked about atmospheric interference, but that is a thing.
Yeah.
At least unless engineering and people higher up have lied to me all this time, it is a thing. So I mean,
I don't think they lied.
Yeah. It's again, we get sent emails talking about sun outages and things like that affect signals.
All right, I forgot to do one thing. I am going to say we're going to do an audible. We're doing an audible this segment. I'm going to let you ask the WrestleMania questions you wanted to ask. My topic has been scratched, but before we do this, you were supposed to remind me earlier in the first segment. I forgot. I didn't give the show question. I had the show question beautifully typed out, and
see, even the part-time guy who hasn't been here in a while knows how to blame the producer. Yeah. So I mean, good job. Right, so I'm sorry, Cole. I'll do better in the future.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Some of us make more than others.
At 10 o'clock, we will answer the question, okay? We'll answer the question, but I want to go ahead and preface. I want to give the question out because I think everybody's answer will go different directions. I'm interested to hear Lonzo's. I'm interested to hear you, the listener. You can text 71307, start your message with fan. I'm interested to hear the YouTubers as well. Is that what you call them? YouTube,
our streaming audience.
Yes,
because it's all inclusive.
All right, anyways, the show question, Lonzo. You know what's going on right now this time of year?
Pollen, politics,
graduation.
Oh yeah.
Graduation, high school, college, graduation. The show question is: if you could go back and talk right now to your high school graduating self, what is the one thing, you only get one? what is the one thing you would tell yourself to do different right now?
Oh, it's obvious.
Don't,
it's obvious.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right. I'll tell you. I'll tell you later.
We'll answer at 10 o'clock. Stream audience, get your answers ready. Regular people in the audience, get your answers ready. 71307. I'll give you mine. Mine might surprise you.
All right. So see what he's doing here. I'm a master at this myself. He's spending enough time on this so I can't actually ask wrestling questions.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Because
all right. So the next, how many minutes do we have?
About 3, maybe 4. It's okay.
All
I mean, it isn't like we can't revisit it later. Yeah, we got 2 more hours. So Cole got to be at WrestleMania, the one in Dallas, and he's backstage sending me pictures of, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?
I didn't know any of them.
Yeah, but at the same time, he knows what he's doing. He's saying, I'm here and you're not, which is fine.
It wasn't as much as it wasn't as much if I just didn't know they were.
Yeah. So is there anyone that I know you recognize The Undertaker.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I didn't see him up close though because he did this was 2 years ago, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
It was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
I didn't see him up close. I don't know how I missed him, but he didn't wrestle, but he came out.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of him on the entrance ramp. So yeah,
that was cool. I'm not gonna lie. I watched wrestling when I was younger. That was cool seeing him come out. The theatrics of it, the sound, the fire, all that was super cool. But I didn't get to see him up close in person.
See, that's the thing. When I take people to see wrestling for the first time who are not wrestling fans and they're skeptic, I take them and tell them, just watch the production.
Yeah,
watch how tight they are at what they do, and as far as the entrances goes, and
it's
how
incredible.
Yeah, how those guys can go out and change the ring around. They can change everything around within seconds, and usually when they're on live TV. So it's a lot of fun to watch. And as someone who's a producer, I love to see things time out perfectly and go that well. So Bobby Lashley, how big is he really in person? How tall is he? Because he don't look real tall.
No, he's not. I mean, he's not real tall. I got a picture with him, and I think how tall are you?
6'1.5".
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was much taller than that. I mean,
does the muscle make him seem?
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a big guy.
When he asked to take his picture with me, I was kind of flattered, and I said, Bobby, I mean, now's not the time, I mean, you are kind of wrestling tonight, but I let him, man. I mean, it's all about the experience.
So you're trying to tell everybody that you didn't ask for a picture. Bobby Lashley asked you for a picture.
How else do you think it went?
Okay, you are Cole Bryson. Okay, all right,
of course
all right.
No, he was huge. I mean, his upper body. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Did you know he moved to Dallas?
Yeah. The other thing, did you know that he's fought in the MMA? He's fought MMA.
I think I did.
Can you imagine seeing that guy across from you? It doesn't always translate to being, fluid of movement and being able to do things, but that's a big dude. So,
you think he'd be good at UFC?
If he decided to do it, I don't know. I still think he's a little stiff.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Tell him that?
Yeah, I would, because I ain't scared. You know who I am?
Any more questions?
I try to make any wrestler in this room mad.
Who else did I send you pictures of?
It's been a couple years, but
there was one guy in front of me that everybody was taking pictures of him, and I had no idea who he was. I sent Lonzo a picture and said, "Who is this?" I don't even know who it was.
So did you get to wander around backstage completely? Yeah. I mean, so you got to see everybody coming in. And were you anywhere near Gorilla? Do you know what Gorilla position is? Gorilla is where whoever's running the show is sitting there. In this case, probably was Vince McMahon. And then they go out through the curtain to go out.
I think they had that part like underneath the stage.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or underneath the ramp, where they came out and walked down the aisle. I think it was like underneath. I didn't go back. I wasn't about to walk back there,
So since you watched when you were a kid, it's probably hard to find wrestlers that you actually knew who they were.
Yeah, like I said, Undertaker was the only one. Bobby Lashley. Obviously, I knew like Pat McAfee and what's the
Michael Cole.
The
Triple H. Paul Levesque.
No. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. Oh yeah.
Logan Paul, Triple H. Yeah. I mean, but listen, the production side of it. Are we late for a break? Are we about to hit a break?
We're good.
I'm not even paying attention.
I'm playing the music. I got this, man.
The production side.
Did you know that I'm a broadcast professional? We got this. I mean, they know that.
The pyro, the lights, the sound. It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, it really is.
So whether you like wrestling or not,
it's kind of odd though.
Yeah, it is because you don't hear
anything.
It's like watching football live. So you don't hear the play-by-play. It's the same sort of thing.
I think football live's a little bit better.
Probably, but when someone gets into a chop fest,
Yeah.
you can legitimately hear how hard they're chopping each
That's
other.
true. That's true. Lonzo and I, Chop Fest coming up next. No, seriously, the show question will be answered next. 71307. Start your message with Fan. Who was that?
That would be the ring general Gunther, who was sitting right over there.
Was it?
Yeah. That was a cool interview. It's one of those things. We talked about this before, and Rob's on here too, probably still. We've the couple wrestlers we've had in or we've had on StreamYard, we always ask a question that ends up getting picked up by all the national guys and stuff. Yeah. So that's always cool to see something that you asked being, echoed everywhere else and giving the show credit. This is the one thing you want is as heard on the Rob Brown show or whatever. So
what is a Chop Fest? Sounds inappropriate.
This smacking someone across the chest.
Oh, like
Ric Flair did it, but you should look up just look up Gunther Gunther chop.
Oh, okay. I got you. So how do they fake that?
They don't.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell them not. I tell them if I was wrestling them, I tell them not to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that part.
I mean, Rob and I was at AEW in Columbia, which is a different organization, and two guys were just chopping each other. And it's just like to the point where you can't watch it anymore because you can see the blood popping up on their chest.
You think they take stuff beforehand to numb the pain?
No. They're just
stupid.
Yeah, I don't. It is dumb, but
stupid.
It's also entertaining.
Hey, Trey said he saw one of Lashley's MMA fights, and I think the lactic acid built up in his muscles.
Yeah, that makes sense because again, you got to have good cardio. You've got to be a little more fluid. If you get in there and you're all stiff, someone who's can move in, they're gonna.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
But I think he's undefeated.
Finesse. He's not finesse.
Yeah, I think he's undefeated. It's one of those things. He's probably more of a wrestler, grappler. Once he gets a hold of you, he's probably a submission guy. I've never seen any of his matches, but that's what I'm guessing.
The word is finesse, Lonzo. Called Pyro. What did I say? Did I not say Pyro?
No, I didn't.
What
it was probably me. It was probably at me.
I might have said like fire or something. I don't know.
Maybe you did. I'll take the blame on it.
Pyro. Did I say Pyro? Pyro?
No, I don't think you said Pyro.
I don't know what I said. Man, y'all can hang meat in here. It's so cold. You know that?
You see what I'm wearing, don't you?
Y'all can hang meat in this place.
There's a reason why I'm wearing this.
Good grief.
Listen, Diesel, you're not going to. I'm not going to let you turn it up.
Oh, does he get cold? Is this us? Did we forget to do something that first hour? I don't think so. We had the one guest, right?
Yes, we did. We're good.
You know how sometimes you feel like you forgot something?
Don't show uncertainty online.
Oh, I don't care. I'm transparent. I'm a transparent guy. I don't have anything to hide.
Wait a minute, Mr. McFeely.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good name for a kid's show. Come on, Rob.
It was Mr. Rogers' middle name. His middle name was McFeely.
Hey, we're going from Mr. McFeely to Deshaun Watson. What a transition. Hello. Let's talk about happy endings.
Oh, God. You said that on the air?
And I made a promo out of it.
God. That's amazing.
I stand by it. I think Mr. Rogers was creepy. I've always thought that.
No, he is. I agree with that. God, that's loud.
Well, turn it down. You got.
I know. You have to reach over there and do it.
can also see yourself back there. I don't know if you knew that.
I like that.
You look really short, though. It's because of where the camera is. I'm just saying. And you're really short, so that may have something to do with it.
You know, I feel like that promo is a little misleading. Unfiltered. Unfiltered.
Well, as unfiltered as you can be under FCC regulation. Yeah.
That just wouldn't sound good in the promo, would it?
It would not.
As unfiltered as you can be due to FCC regulations.
Although
that sounds better.
Our voice guy is pretty good, so he might make it sound cool. Maybe.
You know what? You should send it in.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
My understanding, he's a blind dude, and he.
Are you trying to be funny?
No. There's nothing funny about being.
You were smiling.
No. I think it's cool that he's able to do some of this stuff, especially unless I'm wrong. I do believe that he is blind. And
where did you get?
I believe I was told this.
That
by higher
seems
ups.
Like you need to be.
Yeah,
for sure, not believe. Tell somebody.
Well, so what I was trying to say is, he's a convincing voiceover guy for sports stuff, and chances are he's never seen any. And I think that makes so you're taking it as a joke. I'm taking it as that's how good he is.
Lonzo, you're terrible.
No. You're trying to go down. You're trying to go down a road. Imagine
your email, Lonzo.
Imagine having to be convincing about something when you can't see it. You've got to be really good at it. You've got to be able to.
You made me laugh.
To hear it, it's got to be described to you, all that kind of stuff. No, you're trying to make me into something that I'm not. I'm amazed at what that guy can do.
You said it was your words.
No, not gonna work.
Oh,
not gonna work.
Oh my goodness. The Rob Brown show without the Rob Brown. Lonzo made fun of me earlier and said that I had a agreement with Rob Brown where I had to say the Rob Brown show a certain amount of times on the air, and we're getting close to the quota. So.
Well, I think you passed the quota. You just not say his name from now on.
The show.
Yeah.
Without.
Yeah.
So-and-so.
Yeah.
All right, the show question, Cole Bryson filling in, Lonzo here as well. As always, the show question that I was late to getting to in the first segment.
Because he was having so much fun, and I have this thing where I interrupt people.
I was having a blast.
And I take them off the rails as if there were rails here ever.
Lonzo's
fault. I'm good with it. It's the substitute teachers here. What do you do with the substitute teacher? You mess with the substitute teacher. That's what you're supposed to do. Everyone does that.
That's true. I was a good the 1 year I did teach, by the way.
Oh, you taught?
As soon as I got to college, I taught for a year.
Okay.
And media technology or something like that. Man, they loved me. I mean, it was hard to be serious, It was really hard to take it. I mean, it wasn't school, You
look, well, if it's media technologies, I mean, it should be fun in the first place. And you look like you'd be a fun teacher.
It was fun. They don't pay you anything though for teaching, you know that? You just show up. It's volunteer.
It's kind of like radio. It's wild.
All right, Lonzo, do you have your answer?
Oh yeah, I have my answer instantly.
All right,
when you ask the question.
Wait to hear the answer. Fan phone. Is that the phone number? You haven't given it out one time yet.
It's over there. It's on see that paper right there?
Let's see.
No. To your right, there's a thing. There's an easel.
Instruction manual.
There's an easel over there. You see it standing up next to the football.
New call in line.
Yeah, you could actually pick that up and put that over here.
844-326-3663. That is also 844-FAN phone. You can text the show. Start your text with FAN 71307. The show question is, and this is the parking space for the show question and where that show question gets answered. If you could go back to your high school graduation. High school graduations are happening right now. Most of them, I believe, have already passed. You don't have any kids in school anymore?
I have a grandkid in school.
A grandkid?
Graduating
yet or no?
No.
You're not that old.
No. She's only 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not that old.
So I think most of them have passed, but I was thinking, Lonzo, and I wanted to hear your thoughts as well on this. And I might get a little, I don't want to say negative response from mine, but I'll be interested to hear your thoughts as well on mine. I'll let you go first. You have the floor. You're the regular here. If Lonzo could tell his high school self so years ago, one thing that he would do different, only one thing, what would that one thing be?
So what I would tell my high school self is, first, man, you look good. You need to do something
Did you have hair back then?
Keep. Of course, I had hair back then.
I'm saying like the hair.
I had when I graduated, I had a spiked mullet.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, a spiked on top with bangs.
That's
and
incredible.
Spiked on top with a mullet because my best friend told me I would never change my hairstyle.
Oh.
So right before graduation, I went and changed it to prove him wrong. Because when people tell me I can't do something, that's when all right. So I went to college for computer science. What I would tell myself is when in football season, when I was there playing football, my roommate said, Otterbein. It's a D3 school in Westville, Ohio. It's real. It's real. Good luck figuring out what the mascot is because we never knew. It was either Otters or Cardinal. We didn't know which one.
Like
yeah, it was weird. So my roommate, his name was Paul Kettering, and he said, "Listen, you should stop that and go into radio."
Oh.
And I said, "What classes do you have to take?" And he said, "I have 5 speech classes." And because of my great fear of talking in front of people, I said no. So that I would have told myself to go into radio then because radio is my calling, I believe. And this is my home. I've been here 23 years. I could be so much better now if I would have started then. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, that
because I've had to learn by just figuring it out.
I didn't think yours would be similar to mine, but I do like that. I do want to ask the follow-up response, though, Lonzo, of how many years that gap was. You're in college, 3 or 4 years, not that big of a gap. Before I give mine, I like that. Do you anything else before I give mine?
No, I remember when you were in college. So
yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so that
because you called in to Friday Night Rap, and that's
perfect. This leads me into mine.
Friends with one of my favorite people in the world. What was his name? Patrick. That's his name. Yeah. Patrick Brown, I think was his name. Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm glad your segue was perfect. It led straight into mine. Mine was very simple. If I could go back today, tell myself graduating high school, hey, don't do this one. Obviously, there's 1,000 things I tell myself not to do, right? All the mistakes I've made in my life. But the one thing would be do not waste your time in college. Not even in college, with college. Don't waste the time. Don't waste the money. So yours and I are a little bit different, a little bit similar. You're saying like pursue something else. I'm saying throw it out in the trash. Completely get rid of it. I was 5 years there in North Greenville. I went 5 years. I redshirted, one of those years. So I ended up being there 1 year longer than I was supposed to. But I would have told myself, listen, college, was it a great experience? Yeah, sure. Met a lot of people? Yeah, sure. Did you learn anything that helps you what you're doing today? Maybe a little bit. Now, I'll say this. If you're going for a specific trade like radio or to be a nurse or a lawyer, a doctor, you have to have college. I'm not saying that.
All right. So later on, after I did job after job after job that went out of business, there was a program in Ohio where they would send you to a school, basically a trade school. And so I went to a recording school and learned how to record bands and things like that. It was a couple months. That was it. And they covered radio for like a half hour.
Oh, really?
So that's the most of radio I got. And
in
then
college,
in this little trade, it was a place called a recording workshop in Chillicothe, Ohio. It's fairly famous. Saw it in the back of a magazine.
Oh, wait, it wasn't part of college though.
But it was accredited.
Oh, okay.
So it was the equivalent of 5 credit hours if you went through the entire course.
I think college is a complete waste of time if you're not going for one of the things I just described.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely wasting your time. I think you're absolutely wasting your money. If you're not going to, I think in radio you have to. I mean, I obviously I was in a communications department, got a degree in communications, so it helps for this industry, right?
Well, just about everybody that I train comes from a school, and they went through all of it, and then you have to retrain them because a lot of stuff that's the thing. A lot of stuff you learn that at least the guys that I've trained, They have to unlearn it.
Yeah.
You have to unlearn it. There have been a few people like Patrick Brown who came in. That dude was a whiz.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do anything. But then you get other guys and you have to teach you. I got a guy right now, T2, who's been on this show and he's over on Word, who did not do radio. He learns everything. So because he's like me, having to learn it without having schooling telling you this is how it's done. And a lot of times school does not apply to the real world in the real workplace. Yeah. And especially in radio, it seems to be that way.
Lonzo, let's go to the phones. I'm going to read the number 844-326-3663. You can get your thoughts in there. Who do we have?
We have Kevin.
Kevin, what's up, man?
What's up, Cole Aloysius?
Oh, look what the cat drug in, man.
Look here.
Look what the cat drug in. I didn't. Hey, man, you said Kevin. I didn't. You didn't. Your real name wasn't presented. I would have known if I'd have heard your real name. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. You know, every now and then we put the other part on it when we get talking about other stuff. But
are you going to answer the show question? I want to know yours.
What you got?
The show question today. And then whatever you have to get to, any questions you have. But the show question is, if you could go back and tell your high school self one thing at graduation, obviously graduation going on right now, high school and college, one thing, you get one thing to go back and tell yourself graduating high school, what would it be? It's a good question, isn't it?
Hey, one thing you can tell yourself at graduation before you hit the real world.
That's right. That's right. One thing, though, that's it.
Stay focused on what you want.
That's good.
And never look back. If you want it, go get it.
I like it.
Like whatever it is, you get a lot of people who search out for one thing and end up doing something else. Just like you were saying about college a while ago.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people going to college now, but when they come out, they can't get a job because people say they don't have experience. But you done went to school for 4 years to be a nurse or whatever it may be. But this place won't give you a job because you don't have experience. So what did I go to college for?
I agree with that. I mean, that's fair.
Because and shout out to North Greenville, man. I heard somebody say that a while ago. That might have been you, Cole. That was you, Cole?
Yeah, we're having Landon Powell, the head coach, on, by the way, the baseball coach, here in about 15 minutes.
Hey, man, shout out to North Greenville. I was an original Mountie, so a lot of people might not even know what the Mounties are. But I tell you
Mountaineer.
No, we were the North Greenville Mounties when I went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed it to Crusader around, I say 2002, 3, somewhere like that.
Showing your age, Ken.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, when you get grown and sexy, man, you ain't worried about it no more. It's only when you get old that people be like, oh, man, I'm getting old. No. When you're getting older and you still think you're grown and you done got grown and sexy with it, hey, man, I like it. I love it. I embrace it. Especially the gray around the beard, man. I think some of the ladies like it, too.
Yeah. Listen, I believe you. I'll take your word for it, okay? So that's I like your answer, though.
Hey, but hey, what we got going on as well? I ain't talked to Robin and my guy in a long time. It's been I work Monday through Thursday now. I started getting Fridays.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call my boy today. And when I call, I turn the radio on. I get Cole Aloysius.
Oh my gosh!
From another mother,
how disappointed were you?
Hey, man, because see, when you turn Rob on, you looking for, hey, what are you doing? So I didn't hit it. I was like, it was a calm voice. And I was like, okay. Everybody just calm and cool.
Hey, Kevin, I got to tell you, it is a little more low key in here today. It's a little more low key. I could turn my headphones up a little bit.
You know, that's crazy, though, because I've never been described as low key. I love it. I mean, I guess compared to Rob, I'm low key.
When Rob hit the airwaves, turn your volume down because Rob is about to just start cussing you out from the get-go. I mean, imagine if Rob was a football coach. All he doing is just talking to you like, hey, guys, what you doing? Where you going? I mean, he's really in his regular voice, but you think he is already juiced and ready to just start practicing hard right now. But that's just Rob, and I love him to death.
That's incredible. That's a great description, man. That might be a promo. Yeah. That might be a promo.
Hey, man, put that on there.
That's right.
That's Rob. And I hadn't heard him in probably 3-4 months now.
Well, listen, he'll be back. Don't worry. It's just substitute teacher day. We're laid back. Friday, you watch the movie day. You just hang your feet up. You know what I mean?
Right. Just try to keep from going to sleep in class.
That's right.
The substitute will tell on you when you go to sleep.
That's
like,
right.
if you don't do your work, whatever, go to sleep.
Hey, I got the spitballs ready over here.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll keep them awake.
He doze off, hit him right in the middle of the forehead.
Oh, for sure.
Kev, thanks. Hey, thanks for the call, man. All right, Lonzo, we'll keep it rolling. 844-326-2. See, I can't read. See, that paper's too far away.
Would you move it? I told you you can
Let me
pick
try
that
again.
You can pick that whole thing up and sit it right in front of you.
844-326.
You know, if it's that heavy, I'll walk over there and move it for you if that's what you want.
Now I can't get the phone number out. Oh, 1 second, Here we go. Ready? 844-326-3663. We got it. The phone number's out. Fan text line 71307. Start your message.
No, you don't have a flat tire. I was trying to do Morse code.
Oh man, that sucks. Who do we have?
We got Daredevil.
What's up, man?
Cole, it's good to hear you on the radio, brother. I thought maybe you'd left Dallas and went on to Fort Worth, or maybe you went to Amarillo by morning or something, You know,
I did go to Amarillo one time, and man, I'm telling you, it's breathtaking. Like it is truly unbelievable. There's nothing there. So for there to be nothing there, it's hard to describe, but it's incredible. It is. How are you, man?
Doing great, man. I got a little dog over here that was the day after he was born. He whined on your show, and he'll be 5 in October.
Oh, wow. It's 5 years ago.
Yeah, on a Saturday morning, sir.
Man.
I was going to tell you mine's a little different. What I would have told myself, because I went to college. I liked it so well. I went to 3 before I graduated. I went to North Greenville in 88, 89. It was just 2 years back then.
Okay.
Because I'm older than you.
Yeah.
What I should have done and didn't know is, since I'm totally blind, I needed a job that I could do. I needed to know an advisor that could guide me toward what to take, and even what part of the country I could live in to be successful in that career. I didn't do any of that, but I married a girl with some good money, so I'm enjoying life, brother.
Daredevil, if that's not the best answer yet, man, we'll just go ahead and call it a quits there.
I'll see you, buddy.
See you, man. That's always good. One more time, 844-326-3663. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. Glad to have your thoughts in this morning. The show question, very simple. Lonzo said, skip the crap, go straight to radio. I said, not go to college at all. I learned more in every job that I've had, Lonzo, since college. I've learned more in every job than I ever learned in college. And I don't think, again, let me preface in case somebody's just tuning in. If you want to be a lawyer, what else? A nurse, a doctor
for sure.
Yeah. Radio broadcaster like Lonzo. There are some things you have to go to college for. And I'm sure I'm missing some. A dentist, you think you have to go for like 8 years to be a dentist or something like that, just to learn how to, clean people's teeth. But if you don't know, I think it's a total waste, man. It's a total waste of time. It's a total waste of money. And look, when you get done, they hand you a paper and say, hey, congratulations, you're so much in debt. Now you get a job and you are expected to pay off the debt, and with a job, with a salary. And I think there's so much more you can learn in the real world. And I think 20 years ago, Lonzo, maybe that wasn't the case. But I think today it is.
But at the same time, I mean, people mature at different levels. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe someday. And they need maybe some time away from the parents if they have strict parents and things like that. And I think most people, I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people go to college to go wild. And
no, I agree with that.
And that was never me.
Yeah.
So I'm at college and I'm still just, staying in my room, playing a game and stuff. And yeah, I did fraternity and things like that, trying to open up a little bit, because I know that my biggest weakness is social anxiety. So I tried to do some things to help me with that. And I still have people who I never talked in class in high school or in college cannot believe I'm talking on the radio.
Yeah.
But it's just me and you. And yeah, I know there are thousands of people listening, bunch of people watching, right, but it's different. We're just in a room.
No, I agree. And again, I'm not diminishing anybody who chooses to go. I'm just,
because it does work for some people. It does.
I think there's a lot of people who waste time and money is all I'm saying. I think there's a lot to learn in the workforce. And if you have something you want to do, man, like Kev said, just go for it. As soon as you get out, you got to take risk, man. And I just don't think there's any risks involved in college. And it's just like, hey, go get a piece of paper and you're in debt.
But I think it also helps if you have a good structure around you, a good family,
Yeah.
good set of friends. So if you do fail, they'll be there to pick you up and help you.
What you're saying?
No. I mean, just to give you guidance. And if you need a little help, maybe be there to give you a little help when what you tried didn't work.
No, I agree. There's different, like you said, Lonzo, it's not for everybody. I learned a lot. I did meet a lot of people. I don't know if I would have I don't know what my path would look like if I didn't go, but obviously I went for a reason, but I think it's I think it can be a scam as well. All right. Speaking of college, coming up next, North Greenville today, right here in Greenville County, plays not one, but 2 college baseball games, super regional baseball right here in Greenville County. That's right. You can go out and watch some elite baseball today at North Greenville. Landon Powell, head coach of the Crusaders, joins us next on The Fan.
Oh! All right. If you would like to go to the restroom, you've got like 3 minutes.
How do you know how to go?
Because you had to go before and we were talking on the stream and
But
you
you
didn't
don't
have
know
time.
how to go.
I'm just trying to help you out.
How cool is that, man? Look at that text right there. I didn't even see that till just now.
Maybe I just want you to leave the room so I can talk about you on the stream while you're gone.
Dude, whoever sent in the Kid Rock, yes, 100%. Now I got to go to the bathroom barefoot. That's the problem. You set me up.
You can't put your shoes back on?
I took my socks on, then untie the shoes, then put them back on.
Oh, I thought you were wearing sandals or something.
Oh.
That's like you need to hurry is what you need to do. Yes, he just walked down the hallway barefoot. Winner. Take that, Rob, if you're still watching. I need to turn that off. Floor's cold, isn't it?
It's so cold in here, man. If y'all want some fresh ground beef, we've got cows hanging back here today.
It is not that cold in here.
It is cold in
No,
here.
it's not.
I swear, man.
I can
Got
speak to
6
Landon, please.
pigs back here hanging up.
Hey, this is Lonzo with Rob Brown Show. Cole Bryson set up an interview with you. All right. We got about 45 seconds left in this break. Cole, be right with you. Hang on.
Man, this thing's going by fast, isn't it?
Yeah, we're halfway done.
Time flies when you're having fun, boys.
Oh, dude. It's nothing that would excite you.
Just so everybody knows on the stream, it is like
It's not.
6
It's not.
6 degrees Fahrenheit.
I've got a
Tell Steven yes, but we got to make sure Rob's on before I do it.
I got a hoodie in there that you can borrow if you want. It'd be kind of big on you. I mean, you know,
Good on my thighs.
maybe, but you know, no one's going to see that. And you're wearing shorts, so it might help your thighs.
Good grief, man.
You can do jumping jacks.
This could be the fan upstate and the fan meat freaking.
It is not.
meat
It's
process.
hot in here compared to what it normally is.
They can see my breath. Look.
You cannot see. If they see your breath, it's because you didn't brush your teeth.
This us?
It will be in 30 seconds.
Oh, I hear that big voice guy.
You see my headphones on? I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I know you ain't been here in a while, but you know,
At least I have headphones today.
when my headphones go on, then it's time. I can give you a countdown. We have 12 seconds. 11, 10, 9. All right, I already messed up.
I'm ready. Hour number 2 of the Fan Upstate, the Rob Brown Show. Rob Brown out today. Cole Bryson filling in. Lonzo sitting in. As always, good to be with you on this Friday. It is a little cloudy outside today. The sun trying to break through here in Greenville. And
hopefully it will soon, because you're so cold in this room.
It's like
it's not 8 degrees.
It really is.
It's like 73 in here.
Believe it when I see it. Believe it when I see it. Speaking of Greenville, North Greenville, if you want to see some really, really good baseball today, right here in Greenville County, you can get 2 games for the price of 1. I would imagine Landon Powell, head baseball coach of the North Greenville Crusaders, joins us. Coach, we so much appreciate you taking a few minutes to hop on with us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks, Cole. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, Coach. Before we dive into North Greenville, the Super Regionals, kind of important, I have 2 questions for you before we get into that. Number 1, you played for Oakland in the majors. Obviously, a lot of news with voting going on today, I believe, with a possibility of Oakland moving to Vegas. Your thoughts on where that franchise is now, and if, in your opinion, that's a good move?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, there's some really loyal fans in Oakland, and they've been there a long time and supported that organization for a long time. But it's still one of the lower bottom market teams in the big leagues. There's not much financial support there. They don't do great on attendance. So even though there is a very loyal fan base, there's not many of them.
Yeah.
So, I played there I was with that organization for 9 years, and there's some great people there. But I totally understand the thought of going to Vegas and the excitement of that opportunity and the potential. I think the Raiders have set the blueprint, and that was a big deal for them to leave Oakland as well. But it's been a hit in Vegas, and they got a great ballpark, and they've really, I think that franchise has kind of taken off since getting there. I think the A's could have the same potential. So even though I love my people in Oakland, and I know there's a loyal fan base, I kind of agree that Vegas would be a good option.
Coach, again, one more question before we get into North Greenville. Stay on the Vegas topic. Obviously, like I said, you played for Oakland. Anytime I can talk to a professional, somebody who played in the professionals, whether it be football, baseball, or basketball, I wanted to ask, I love asking this question. I wanted to ask you as well. You played in Oakland, obviously some years ago, but with this team moving to Vegas, this brings the question up to me. When you played in Oakland for the A's, compared to today, the way the world is centered around sports gambling now, with it being at the forefront of everything just about, I can't imagine the conversations that have to go on in the clubhouses. We even see players in the NFL getting suspended for illegal use of gambling. When you were playing, were there conversations going on at all about sports gambling? And if so, how prevalent was it?
Yeah, not really too much. I mean, so when you walk into every major league clubhouse or minor league locker room or clubhouse for that matter, there's a giant poster on the wall as soon as you walk in, and it talks about sports betting and gambling. And that's like the cardinal sin in professional baseball. Like, there's so many other things that they're fine with you doing, but you better never bet on a game. And, they set the example with Pete Rose, and that scared pretty much every baseball player since then. You don't want a lifetime ban from the game. So, we would play fantasy football, and we'd do little, NCAA March Madness pools, but, we wouldn't do fantasy baseball because that would be considered like betting on the game. And so we wouldn't even do fantasy baseball. And no one that I ever played with even considered betting on a baseball game. So, but it's an interesting time now. That stuff has grown. Sports gambling is now legal in 20 states or something. So, they're putting sports books in major league stadiums.
Yep.
I mean, I think Wrigley Field now has a sports book at the field.
Right.
And the game's changing. They're going to put in robot umpires, I'm hearing, at the big league level, and there's a reason for that. It's that's so that sports betting can get a little more in depth. I mean, if they put robot umpires in, they could go and actually allow fans to vote to bet on every pitch. Is this going to be a fastball or a curveball, or is it going to be a strike or a ball? With umpires, the human error would cause issues with that.
Right.
But if they go to robot umpires, then that's kind of a foolproof system. They can increase the amount of betting that can take place. It's a different world now, but I don't think any baseball players are dumb enough to get involved in that. And but I do think that's probably another reason that Vegas is a good potential option for the Oakland A's, because that industry is growing for sure. And so we'll see what happens.
Great insight, Coach. Appreciate that. North Greenville baseball, a team that you have been able to bet on pretty much consistently all year, 47-9. Coach, one thing you always hear, I've always heard this from elite coaches and coaches who have made it to the top. And obviously last year you guys won the World Series. But I've always heard that, getting there, getting to the regionals, getting the super regionals, getting to the World Series, doing it once is tough enough. But duplicating that success at that level is even, 10 times, 20. It's insane how hard it is to sustain success. What's been the recipe for you so far?
Well, number one, we got a great group of players. We have some veteran guys who've been on our roster for several years, and they've won a lot of baseball games and had a lot of success. And so they believe in themselves. They know what they're doing, and it's been fun to coach those guys. So that obviously helps. But it's Division II baseball is tough, especially here in the Southeast. It's a gauntlet, and I think we have the toughest region in the country. And Division II is set up totally different than Division I. So it's not, Division I, the top 16 seeds in the country all get to host. And it doesn't matter where you're located. It's just based on what your RPI and your rankings and stuff are. Division II is all based on location. So, when you watch the College World Series in Omaha and you can see 4 SEC teams in the World Series in Omaha, well, the Division II level, that can't happen. Only one team from each region, not even from the conference, but one team from each region can advance to the World Series. So you'll never see 2 teams from the same conference at the Division II World Series. It just makes it harder. There's a lot of parity in Division II college baseball in the Southeast. And, it's North Greenville. We've had some success in recent years, and we're trying to continue that success. We got an opportunity today to win 2 games and punch our ticket to get back to Cary and go to the World Series again. So that's our goal. We're going to go see what happens.
Coach, a team you're familiar with, Belmont Abbey. Tell us what you know about them and what you can expect to see from them today.
Yeah, a team we're really familiar with. They're in our conference. We play them every year. We played them at their place this year in a 3-game series, beat them 2 out of 3 there. We also faced them in the conference tournament, and they beat us in the conference tournament in a game. So we know them well. Both teams have scouting reports on each other. And, I think what I believe, Cole, is that if my guys go out and play to their ability and they take care of their job and do compete and grind all game long, I believe in who we got. I don't think it really matters who's in the other dugout. Belmont Abbey's a great team and they're very capable, but I believe in my guys. And if we show up and play well, I think we got a great opportunity and a great chance.
Coach, one question that I've always thought was interesting in one statement, you heard it from, you hear this consistently from coaches, but like I remember Dabo at Clemson said this when Clemson won their first national championship. And he said something to the effect of, obviously, this is for the guys that have played here on this team this year that led us to that point, but this is also for all the players for the past 10 years, for the past 5 to 6 years that helped us get to this climax, to get to this peak. And obviously, when you came to North Greenville, it was in a rough spot. But in that first 5-year stretch, you had really good players. I just don't think they were all on the same team like they are now. Is that philosophy true? To a point of, okay, the guys that we have now, Coach, obviously last year they got you to a national championship, but the guys that you had for the past 10 years, is that philosophy true that they helped build the program to where, ultimately you guys got last year?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So last year when we won the national championship, a lot of those guys texted me, congratulating us and everything. And my immediate response was, you're part of this with us. You were in that dog pile, whether you realize it or not. You've done a tremendous amount of work to help build this program, and we would not be where we are without all those guys that came and laid the original bricks. I think about that national championship trophy. The kind of way I think about it is that there's a pedestal full of bricks, and the last brick on top was that national championship to put it there on top. And but we wouldn't be able to put it up on top without all those bricks that laid that foundation and built us up to that level. And those are all those guys you talk about. So we've had I've been at North Greenville 8 years, and we've had some tremendous players come through. And we had a team in 2019 that was so deserving to go to Omaha. To Cary, and those guys. We had 4 or 5 All-Americans on that team. Some of the best players that ever played at North Greenville, and we lost in the Super Regional in 2 games, 4-3 and 4-3, both games in extra innings. But I think about that team, and last year when we got there, it was, I texted a bunch of those guys and just let them know, like, we wouldn't have been there without them, and we're going to win it for them. So same thing happened, same thing now. We want to win this year for all those same guys.
Landon Powell joining us on the Fan. North Greenville playing 2 today here in Greenville County, Super Regional Baseball that you can go and check out. Coach, we hear a lot in basketball and football that when you get to the highest level of play and, the playoffs get here, you hear coaches say, well, even guys who are, first year in the league, second year in the league, you hear them say all the time that playoff basketball is just so different. Playoff football is different. Is at the Division II level for baseball, is there any difference in your mind between playoff baseball, what you guys are experiencing right now compared to the regular season?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you're seeing a lot better quality of arms at this stage in the season. Teams have lineups throughout that can hit and get on base. There's not going to be any easy outs at the plate. There's not going to be any bad pitching coming in that's easy to hit. You're going to have to play at a high level at this point in the season. So, these are 18 to 21, 22-year-old kids. I mean, they're dealing with pressure and stress and the anxiety of competition. And so that's also obviously a big factor. They know what's on the line, and there's guys on every team that, they know that they may never play another game after, their college career is over. So you get to this point in the year, it's, for example, we played 2 games today. If one team wins both games today, there's going to be careers that end.
Right.
That's tough. And these guys have never been in that situation before. So, my job as the coach is just to give them as much confidence as possible, let them know that we love them, we believe in them, they're ready, they're prepared, and all they need to do is go out there and compete every pitch, every out, every inning, and leave it all on the field. And at the end of it, if that's how they play the game and that's how they approach it, no matter the results at the end, they can walk away with their head held high, whether they're a champion or not. They know they laid it all out there, and that's the goal.
Coach, you mentioned that you've been at North Greenville for 8 years now. If when you took the job 8 years ago, if somebody would have told you, hey, 4 or 5 years later, you're going to get a kid named John Michael Fell, would that have made you a little bit more at peace about where you were?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a generational player. It's been amazing the career he's had, and I've been so lucky and fortunate to coach him. I think you probably agree with me, but I think he's the greatest Division II baseball player ever. And he's got a resume that backs that up. I mean, the guy, he's local, homegrown right here, Boiling Springs High School. He was 5A state player of the year. And then he comes in, and here's what he's done in his career. He's been a 4-time conference champion. He's been 4-time all conference. He's been 4-time all region. He's, been a 3-time first team All-American, and it could possibly be 4-time this year if he makes it again. He's been conference freshman of the year, national freshman of the year. He's been conference player of the year, region player of the year, and national player of the year. By the way, he's a national champion. And just for good measure, this year he broke the all-time NCAA Division II RBI record and the all-time Division II home run record. So, I mean, the guy's resume is absolutely unbelievable, and I don't think there's anybody out there that could argue that he's probably the greatest Division II baseball player ever. And we've had him right here in Tigerville in South Carolina, and man, I'm going to miss him. I promise you that.
Yeah, stats would agree with you as well. Coach, one thing I want to ask, though, is you talked about a minute ago when you get to this late in the season, everybody's good. Everybody's got good arms. What, as a coach, though, what have you seen over the years when it's this tight, man, like this tight of a race? These teams are so almost, it's an equal playing field. What separates, you talked about those extra inning games. I was there in 19. It feels like there's so little when you get to this point in the season that separates you to be able to win these kind of games.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's got to bounce your way. And, you also you got to have some players step up and make big plays and have big moments. That's part of it. And then you also just have to believe in yourself. There's like a never quit attitude. There's that never out of it mentality. And, baseball's such a heart sport that the team that believes in themselves the most a lot of times ends up winning. That's what I love about baseball. So you got to take care of the little things. I mean, we work on little things all year long, fielding a bunt, stealing a bag, making smart decisions on the field, those kind of things. So that's why it's so exciting to play in the postseason, because it is like that. I mean, every team's good, every team's capable, and it just makes it that much more fun to compete.
Coach, before we let you go, 30-second plug on why people listening today around the upstate, Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Clemson should come out and see these two games today and talk about the chance they get to see some really elite baseball.
Well, you got two great teams from the Carolinas, and you got a lot of really good college baseball players that have worked their butts off to be in this point. And the atmosphere at North Greenville has improved every year. We got a great facility there, and we've had a lot of fans. Last weekend in the regional, we had a packed house, and it was a great energy, and it's really high caliber baseball. So if you got nothing going on today or tomorrow, come check us out and watch some great baseball and cheer us on. And hopefully we can represent the upstate and the state of South Carolina and get back to the World Series.
Yeah, but hopefully not tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'd listen. I'd love to do it today. Trust me. I'd love to do it today, but we'll see what happens.
Coach, thanks for your time as always. Good luck, and we enjoy talking to you.
All right, Cole. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. That's Landon Powell, head coach of the North Greenville Crusaders. They are just a few hours away. It seems like they start at 3:30 today, just over 4 hours away from first pitch in Tigerville, not far from here, northern Greenville County. Some good baseball going on for the Super Regionals, NCAA Division II. Thanks to Coach for coming on just a few hours before the game. Final segment of hour number 2 with yours truly and the immaculate Lonzo up next. You like that word? There's just so many ways to describe it.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's hard in season 1.
It is. come back in about 25 seconds.
All right, streamers and tweamers, we're back. We're back, baby.
All right, I see one JJ Redick.
Should be 2 total.
Okay, there's one with him and Wendy, and
Yep.
and then there's another one with Mad Dog on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gotten warmer in here, by the way, guys. It went from 6 to 9. 10 degrees now. Guess this is us, huh? It is the fan upstate Lonzo dancing behind the computers, behind the wall of computers. Cole Bryson filling in for Rob Brown today. Glad to be with you. 844-326-3663 is the way you can get in touch with the show. You can also text the show 71307. Start your message with fan.
By the way, if you want to see me dancing, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and you go, That's what you'll do when you see me dancing. You go,
One more time.
And I can't blame you.
I haven't seen any of those comments yet from our streamers.
Yeah, I felt it though.
Yeah.
That's
maybe the connection is just bad. That's probably what it is.
Oh no, there's a connection.
Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah.
You know what drives me crazy, Lonzo? Not many things. I'm a laid back kind of person, but one thing that just drives me absolutely nuts is professional athletes who, I guess it's the new trend, or the trend of new media, with guys like JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins and Draymond Green, who has his own podcast. And by the way, his podcast is actually good. He does a good job. But 10 years ago, we didn't have current NBA players and NFL players like the Kelsey brothers. They have a really good podcast.
Yeah, I love that podcast.
It's hilarious. New Heights, I believe.
Yeah, and when they have guests on, it's even better.
Incredible.
They've had Shannon Sharp on. They've had Andy Reid on. They've had Mahomes on.
My point is that wasn't 10 even 5-6 years ago. You weren't really hearing much of these new media guys with players in the league coming on these national shows. But what burns me up is guys like JJ Redick, and I actually like JJ and his basketball knowledge. When he breaks down basketball, it is incredible. It is fascinating. It is completely it literally, you can learn every day from watching JJ Redick. Tim Legler, obviously he's been out of the league for a while, but he's the same way. He's incredibly knowledgeable about the sport of basketball. But what I cannot stand, and maybe it's because I wasn't a professional athlete, I guess, or an athlete at all, a good one. But what I can't stand is this whole conception, this whole idea of you don't know what you're talking about because you didn't play the game. Cut number one.
You don't understand athletic mortality. 3 games at wherever South Dakota.
Athletic mortality. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Again, this is not the first time that JJ Redick this past week brought this up. JJ Redick believes that if you didn't play the game, you don't understand athletic mortality. You don't understand the game the way the players who played it understand it.
yell is very different than someone playing on a hobble.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a terrible analogy. I'm sorry. It's terrible. I want to quick story real quick.
Cut him off. I'm tired of hearing him. Lonzo, he makes me sick. And the bad part is I actually like J.J. Redick. I actually like his basketball, like in-depth knowledge. He'll break down a play. He'll break down a sequence of plays, and it's super knowledgeable. I love learning the game of basketball.
Well, why is he there? He's there for that reason.
Because he played?
No, he's there because of how he'll come at Stephen A., how he'll come at whoever's on there. That's why he's there.
He likes it, though.
I'm not saying he'll be there a long time, because when there's contention that is borderline, I don't want to say violence, but you could tell there's something behind it.
Well, you could tell in the first clip that you played when Stephen A. said, I've been on TV, or I've been doing this for so-and-so, some odd years. I must be doing something right. You could tell watching it.
But that's what the show's for. The First Take has always been about that. So they're going to, when JJ goes away, they'll find someone else to come in to do the same thing. They want someone to fight with Stephen A.
Yeah, but fighting with Stephen A. is different than saying, oh, if you didn't play the game, you don't understand that.
Yeah, no.
And you don't understand that a sprained knee is different than a sprained ankle.
By the way, I agree with you. He has a condescending tone when he does it, like he's speaking to children or speaking to someone lesser than him. And I like debate. I don't like civil debate. Civil debate makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why my friend across the aisle is incorrect. Yeah. No, if you're going to argue, have a little bit of heat to it, but it should not be to where when you're done, you don't want to be in the same room with that person.
The only thing I say is, Lonzo, like going back to my point, I think Kendrick Perkins at times has really good opinions and takes on the game of basketball. I think Tim Legler's probably the best at it if you've ever watched him. He's on with SVP a lot at night after the NBA games. Obviously guys on the TNT set are very knowledgeable. 3 of those 4 played the game.
Yeah, but those guys, what they do is they come at each other, they call each other names and stuff. And every once in a while, it might seem a little bit tense.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's not that talking down to each other.
My point is they would never, like that. Those guys on the TNT set, they would never look at Kenny or look at the host. Why is his name slipping my mind, Lonzo? You've got
Ernie.
Yeah. They would never look at Ernie and say, well, Ernie, you didn't play, so you don't understand. All 3 of those guys, Shaq, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley, all 3 of those on that set have enough respect for Ernie's knowledge of basketball to not disrespect him like that. I don't think it's a matter of debate. I think it's just a matter of respect.
Yeah, but I've seen this in radio a bunch, especially being a producer, because a producer is considered lesser. And there are some hosts that treat you like trash to the point where you don't want to come to work. And I've had those problems throughout my career. And then I've had people where I can't wait to get here because they're cool with it. And of course, and then there are politicians. There's a certain politician who's running for president right now who, when she called into a show, she act like I was nothing, and then when she got on the air, she was a totally different person. I don't know if that narrows it down or anything, and maybe someone might figure out who I'm talking about.
Still lost.
Yeah, probably no clue who she might be. Yeah. But that right there, my thought was, I'm one of your constituents and you're treating me like this. So because I'm not on the level of the person who's on the air, and there are people who that's the kind of tone that I believe Redick was using.
And I agree. And my thing is, Stephen A., whether you love him or hate him, he may have some crazy takes, but you can't sit here and say that Stephen A. doesn't know the game of basketball. Stephen A.'s been covering the game of basketball for longer than anybody. Michael Wilbon's been covering the game of basketball for as long as anybody. The Jordan days, before that, they were covering it. So my point is, JJ, yes, I do think that playing the game, obviously, I respect you for playing it. I respect you for making it to the highest level ever, and I respect your opinion. But that doesn't mean that everybody else's opinion is lesser. It's just a fact. Everybody else's opinion is lesser because you played the game and they didn't. JJ Redick needs to take a step back, Lonzo, look in the mirror, and listen. He was great at Duke. But let's not act like that J.J. Redick is Larry Bird or Steph Curry. I mean, come on, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Final hour of the show is coming your way. It's right here on the Fan Upstate. Josh is back. You know that?
I saw that.
Veronica said game day. Stephen Webb. Yeah. Hey, listen to this text, Lonzo. Cole, do you remember that one Christmas you were a driver helper at UPS during college? You were my helper. Welcome back to the Upstate.
You need to read that on the air.
I didn't. I meant to just now, and I forgot. I will read it up next. I hope he's still listening.
You got a whole other hour to,
I don't know if I was in high school or college, though. You know how it's seasonal jobs. You can, like with UPS, you can get a seasonal job and you just take packages to the door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was in high school or college. It was one or the other, but I just don't.
Well, that's a true sign you're getting old if you can't remember.
Well, I only did it for like 2 years. I don't remember.
2 years is a pretty good amount of time.
Well, no, you only do it at Christmas, though.
Okay.
You only do it like Christmas. You start like Thanksgiving and then you go all the way through Christmas. Man, now whoever texted in the Kid Rock line, now I'm like, you know how sometimes like when you start your day, some days you wake up like with something in your head, but the other days you're like waiting for something to pop in your head. Now I'm like completely Kid Rock.
I scared Kid Rock once. It was great.
You scared him?
I scared him to death. Yes. He was performing in town. I was working at the first radio station I worked at in downtown Greenville. And I was going to park in the garage, and his entourage was outside making it look like he was going in the front. He came in the back and was sneaking in the elevator.
Yeah.
He was wearing like an orange jumpsuit. And he started looking because I started driving real slow, and he's pushing the button. So I drove even slower and slower. And then I just stopped. And I think I had a Camry then. The windows were tinted, so he couldn't see in it. And I just stopped and just watched him do this
In front of the elevator?
until he finally got in the
Why
elevator.
did he want you to?
Paparazzi and stuff, man. He's probably worried about that, but it was hilarious. He was panicking.
So I'll tell a Kid Rock story now that we're off air. We're on stream. We went to me and about 6 friends in Dallas went to a Kid Rock concert. Do you know how much we paid for the tickets, Lonzo?
Way too much, probably.
$4.
$4,
So
really?
it's at the PNC Pavilion in Dallas.
I've heard of that.
Okay, when I tell you from where you and I are sitting, if you and I are on stage, the furthest back is probably somewhere you can't even see. It is ginormous. It's bigger than the Bon Secours, but it's outdoors. We got in for $4, snuck all the way down to the third row, sat in on the third row, and it was absolutely the best concert I've ever been to in my entire life. Out of all the concerts, 100% the best.
Oh, that's
concert.
cool. Did he have an open act, or was it just him?
No, he had other people with him, and the girl obviously the same girl doesn't sing that picture song anymore, but I can't think of who sang it with him that night. You don't like Kid Rock?
I'm not really into. I mean, I love music, but I haven't
not
been
into it either,
into new stuff that much anymore. If I hear something in the restroom, I'll throw it up on my
Paradise City was on
my Spotify. My son will go, "Hey, listen to the song. Do you like this?" And I'll add it. But other than that, I don't. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts when I go home and stuff like that. And
Fan asked Reddick about KD's hobbled high ankle sprain that tore his Achilles tendon and cost him a year of his career when he came back too soon. I like that. Do you watch a lot of podcasts and stuff? You know how they'll put short podcasts on TikTok and stuff? Do you TikTok?
I don't TikTok because I don't bow to China. But there's just
I do, I guess, because I'm on that mode a lot.
Well, I think I'm too old for TikTok.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
How old are you?
I think I am.
78, 90.
It's pretty close. I'll be a double nickel in September.
Are you a fan? Are you a Wolf on Wall Street fan?
No, I never watched it because I think F-bombs aren't necessary. And from what I understand, there's 3,700 of those in there.
Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they're not necessary. I completely agree, but I can't believe you've never seen that movie.
Just because, again, I like highbrow humor.
It's not a humor movie, though.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you have to use that, I think it shows a lack of creativity. So, okay, we need to put an F-bomb here.
It's based on a true story, though.
I got you. And here's the other thing. and I don't care how it sounds. I don't like watching movies based on true stories unless it's like a sports story
What's
or something
wrong
like
with
that. I want to see things that can't happen because that's my wheelhouse. I like video games. I like a bunch of stuff like that. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't. I'm going to the comic book store today. I don't care. But I mean, you're into fishing. I'm into that stuff.
Like true, like crime, like.
I've watched a bunch of that stuff when I was younger, and now it's just too easy to figure out. I'm not trying to act like a snot, but it's too easy to figure out most of the time. I've worked at a news talk station for 23 years. I've heard real stories that are better than some of that stuff. So
I'm really disappointed. You know, I mean, even, oh gosh, the breaks go by too quick. Lonzo, sometimes I am fascinated with you. Sometimes you disappoint.
Well, I will tell you, everyone here already knows everything that I just said. So, I mean,
it's just disappointing though, because like, for example, maybe let's catch the audience up. We're talking on the break. Somehow we get on Wolf of Wall Street.
And, you got it. Don't say we.
Like, I hate real movies with real good stories.
I never said I hate it. I just don't have an interest in it. And as far as that movie goes, I think excessive cursing is not necessary.
No.
And some people would say, including Rob Brown, well, that's how the real world is.
No.
Not my real world.
I agree that the excessive cursing is not necessary, but in the Wolf on Wall Street in particular, they literally went to Jordan Belfort, and his input on Leonardo DiCaprio's role was 100% spot on point. So it wasn't like they were dropping F-bombs because that's the culture we live in now. They were dropping F-bombs because they literally mirrored that movie. Leonardo DiCaprio mirrored it 100% on the real life of Jordan Belfort.
See, here's the thing. All right, so you can't believe I'm into the stuff that you're into. I don't care that you're not into the stuff that I'm into. Because that's the only thing that bothers me is when you make fun of wrestling because you come at it with a JJ Redick view. And that's the only thing that bothers me. And you're doing that on purpose.
No.
Yeah. You come with it. You and that guy in the afternoon and other people all right, guys in the afternoon who have an attitude about wrestling. They come with that JJ Redick attitude.
Now,
like,
I would not have gone to WrestleMania if I didn't like it.
You little child, how could you still be into that?
Not.
And all I can say to them, you little child, you're in sports. Sports is for what? Entertainment. So, and as far as that goes, you're into fishing. You know, I've been to fishing. I've fished some, but I'm not into it like you are.
You're not into it? I went fishing, not catching.
Actually, I did catch some stuff because I went with people who knew what they were doing.
Oh, diesel?
Yeah. No. This was back in Ohio. I haven't been fishing since I've been here.
Okay.
But you know, I don't feel like going out and get a fishing license because I don't think you should have to be licensed to go catch food.
Ooh.
There's
time,
there are some things that I don't do because of that, and I think that's ridiculous. I think it's just another way for the government to make money. And if I want to go catch a fish, I should be able to do it without you saying I can. But I mean, so I'm into comic books and movies and things that can't happen
and I respect you for that.
Because no, you don't. Because I have that kind of imagination. That's how my imagination works. Your imagination is totally different. But I am not going to criticize you because of what you're into.
All right.
But you're
soapbox.
You're Reddicking me.
No.
Yeah, because I'm into stuff that you're not into. See, that's the thing. How could you not watch that movie? You know how? Because I don't want to watch it because I'm not interested in it. And you know, and there's some things.
And you're telling me I have to be fine with
that? There are things that you and I would have like interests in. There definitely are. Yes.
But maybe we get along because we don't.
That's also a thing too, because possibly we both are contrarians, and it's you know a like in spirit type thing. I mean, it could be. I actually had to defend. I had to explain to someone on the stream that I'm really cool with you, that I'm just messing around, because since we first met, we've kind of had that thing back and forth. I mean, I love that. Those are my favorite kind of people doing that kind of stuff, because it's good natured and there's nothing bad behind it. But I think if you're into something and I'm not into it, even if I'm like, how in the world, I try not to be overly critical of it, because I think it's so easy to be condescending, and I don't want to be that guy. Even though every once in a while I sound like that on the radio, it's my deal. It's my work.
Lonzo.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. 71307. Start your message with fan. I apologize for just getting to these. Lonzo answered to the after graduation. I didn't graduate. I took the test, got my GED, learned construction equipment, now make over $100K a year. Believer. That was in response to our show question, which is if you don't, or no, the show question is if you could go back to your high school graduating self and tell them one thing to do different, what would you do? And Lonzo gave his, I gave mine. We'll revisit that as well. We had a few calls and a couple of texts come in as well. Here's the best text of the day, though. Do you remember the one Christmas, Cole? You were a driver helper at UPS. You were my helper. Welcome back to the Upstate. That's the best text ever. How cool is that?
It also means that you were memorable enough that they remembered a temp who was helping them, or you were really bad at it. It could be one of those, like, no, not that door.
Could be both.
Don't set that down so hard. You may have broke it, stuff like that.
That's unbelievable. 844-326-3663 is the number if you want to call in. Cole and Lonzo, Kid Rock said it best. F my diploma. Lonzo, what fraternity were you in when you were going back to your college story?
Zeta Phi, it's not a national fraternity, so you probably never have heard of it before. We were the rats. Got to be the rat keeper for a little while. There's a white rat named Frosty.
Yeah.
He was pretty big.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah.
From the 431 fan, I miss Rob. We do too. We miss him. I miss him more than you do. Trust me. From the 346.
There always has to be one of those,
I
miss Rob.
love it.
It's probably the same guy who complains about him not talking about Clemson.
I know. I love it. Absolutely. From the 346, ask Reddick about KD's hobbled high ankle sprain that tore his Achilles tendon and cost him a year of his career when he came back too soon. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Again, that text is regarding the conversation we were having about JJ Redick just a few moments ago and his take on, I can't remember the word he used now. Lonzo, I'm drawing a blank. He said something to the effect of sports. Here I am just fudging it up.
Pretty much, he said that you don't understand because you never played the game at a high level.
Mortality.
Yeah, he might have said sports mortality.
Basically, he made the point that to Stephen A. twice in the last couple of weeks that if you didn't play the game, you don't know it as well as he does. JJ's the king, man. JJ Redick. Speaking of JJ, speaking of the NBA, Lonzo, have you been involved at all? Have you been interested in at all with the NBA playoffs? Yeah,
I've been watching a ton of playoffs, but as some of you know, I'm still recovering from illness.
We're glad you are.
Yeah, and so I am. You can't catch up on rest, but you can still be really tired, and I'm still having that problem where if I get to go home a little bit earlier, I'll take a nap and I try to stay up, and I'm just not making it yet. And I'm scared that old thing has finally caught me, but I don't think that's what it is. I'm starting to get my energy back, and so what I will do is since I know I'm going to fall asleep, probably I've been recording the games and then watching a good portion of it. Last night, I watched to the point where I realized that Miami was not going to win. It's like, I do not need to record the rest of this. Miami's, I'm worried about them. I am. It looked like that they were going to do this. The Celtics heard all that hype that no one's ever come back from 3-0. And
I'm so glad you said that.
Looks like they might actually do it. And I think the threatening, and Rob and I talked about this, how for LA, LeBron gets all the heat, not the coach. But for the Celtics, the coach is getting all the heat, not the players. And it just depends on if the people who are talking hate one or the other. And so the coach for the Celtics was getting a lot of heat about, and taking the blame himself, saying, I didn't have these guys ready and all that kind of stuff. But it was the players weren't stepping up. It's not the coach helped some for motivation and stuff, but Tatum and those guys, they were not playing like they should have. And Miami was on fire.
But, I want to go back to what you just said. And I actually wrote this in my notes for the show today. One thing that I think is super interesting, and I think this is true for hockey as well. I mean, you're actually watching it right now in the Dallas series. The Stars won a game last night to stave off elimination. One thing, Lonzo, that I love about a 7-game series is not just the play on the court, but the storylines that are created from each game. So you've got a 7-game series, and it's like a movie. It's like a Star Wars. You have 7 different parts of the movie, seven different episodes of the show, if you will. What happens? What does everybody say when a team like Miami, Lonzo, goes up 3-0? Well, the series is over. So Miami goes up 3-0. Denver goes up 3-0 over the Lakers. Obviously, Denver closed that one out, but Miami goes up 3-0. The storyline becomes, oh, this thing's over.
Yeah, because history dictates. Because it's always been that way so far.
However, what happens when Boston wins Game 4 at Miami? All of a sudden, the guys on the TNT set, Shaq, Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, Stephen A's of the world, all of a sudden, once that team wins that first game and now the series is 3-1, Lonzo, the narrative becomes, well, hey, all of a sudden.
Well, now it's 3-2, by the way. So yeah,
the Boston Miami series is. But I'm saying at 3-1, the narrative changes from, oh, it's over to, hey, all of a sudden, all these guys have to do is win one game, and then they get to go back home. Like Lonzo said, now the series is 3-2. Boston wins last night at home, as many expected they would. But going back to my point, what's so fascinating is when you're down 3-0, Lonzo, all the pressure is on the other team. But let's take this Boston-Miami series, for example. Boston has won 2 straight. Boston won at Miami in Game 4. Boston won at home last night. And now all of a sudden, it feels like that if Miami doesn't win Game 6 at home in Miami, then they're in trouble. We all know Boston's a better team, but what's incredible about a 7-game series is, you're right, history tells us that 3-0s never happened before, but guess what? It's not 3-0 anymore.
Well, something else that Miami has to decide. Tyler Hero has been cleared to play. Or do you put him in there now?
No.
If you need a spark, I think you play him. I think you do. This next game, well, you definitely play him in the Game 7. But I think you got to throw him in there.
You think you play him game tomorrow?
Yeah, I think you put him in limited action. You don't play him the entire game, but you get him in there because he will be a spark that will light a little bit of a fire under Miami. If he comes in and gets you a couple buckets, then suddenly, we got one of our guys back, and then it can change how they're playing. Because right now, Miami's missing the fire they had in the first 3 games.
You're right. But, man, Lonzo, at any time, at any moment, it's almost Jordan-esque. At any time, Jimmy Butler can take over and end it. At any time, he can end the series.
Well, he should have already did it because Denver's sitting back getting rest right now.
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying Boston's a better team. So, of course.
Oh, without a doubt, Boston's a better team. But if you get up 3-0, you got to find that one little thing that you need.
How hard is that, though?
And they've gotten technically blown out the last 2 games.
So close last night. I mean, it really wasn't close last night. Do we have a caller, Lonzo? Let's go to the phone. So we have.
We have Harold.
Harold, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, how are y'all?
We're good, Harold. How about you?
Good. I'm hearing all this NBA talk, and Cole, I know you're a big LeBron guy, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
I want to know. I don't want to know if he should, if he will. I want to know, what does LeBron have to gain by coming back next year?
Okay.
Has he not already solidified himself as a Hall of Famer? Hang up the jersey. What does he have to gain?
Harold, that is a great question. Are you ready for me to answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the answer to the question is, he has 0 left to gain for coming back next year. However, unless his stance has 180 degrees about face flipped, just not long ago, he said that the only thing he wanted left to do was play with his son. Well, if you do the math, his son's going to be at USC this year. So LeBron would have this year where he is playing in the NBA without a son. If his son does pan out to be great, one and done, the following season, 2025, which would be 2 years from now, LeBron would still be in the NBA, and he'd still be positioned to do the only thing he has left to accomplish, what's never been done before in NBA, and play with his son. He said on a podcast that's the only thing he has left to play for. You're right, Harold. There's nothing else that he needs to do. Now, the people who hate LeBron and people who wake up every day and think about Michael Jordan and can't stand to hear LeBron's name thrown out, of course, they're going to tell you he needs 2 more championships. But the people who actually know the game and are realist and are realistic about this whole situation, they'll tell you, no, there's nothing else left he needs to do. But if he wants to play with his son, obviously, Harold, he either keeps playing or he takes 1 year off like Michael did and comes back the next year when his son is potentially in the NBA.
I could see that, and I heard you guys talking about golf earlier, and I think the same thing about Tiger Woods. To me, he doesn't have anything else to prove, but he still continues to compete as much as possible. But LeBron's a competitor, and I'll be honest, he's one of the few guys that I'll still turn on the NBA to watch. So you guys are doing a great job. Cole, good to hear you back on the air. Lonzo, good to hear you as well. You guys take it easy.
Thanks, Harold. Great call. We appreciate it. It's 844-326-3663 is the number you can get in touch with the show. 71307. Start your message with fan. Lonzo, am I wrong or am I right?
We talked about this a couple of days ago. Rob and I talked about it, and here's what I think. I think that LeBron is hurt.
No, there's no thinking.
Yeah, and here's what I think will happen. I think he'll have surgery.
He will.
And I think he'll miss half of this season, come back near the end, play a half a season, and then you're that much closer to playing with Bronny.
I don't know though, because here's why I would say I'm not saying I disagree with you 100%. Lonzo.
You know how he comes back at the beginning of the year is if they get rid of AD and bring in someone who's actually a good number 2 for him.
Okay, now we've got 2 whole topics to dive into. Hold that second one because I totally disagree there. Let me go back to number 1. Number 1 was Lonzo. I don't think
you've never played the game at a high level.
Right.
So what do you know?
My point is, he said post game after that Denver loss in Game 4, and he said this his whole career. Lonzo, you know this. He doesn't at this point. All he cares about doing is playing for a championship and playing with his son. If he has to miss the half of next season next year and comes back in the end of the season and they're 500, what do they have to play? What's he have to play for? The 13th season?
Well, the other thing is it's legacy. He's fighting against legacy, and we talked about this too. When it comes to there is a generation who has no idea who Michael Jordan is except for his shoes are cool, and that's it. And those people are still hanging on. Michael Jordan got me into the NBA, but when it comes down to it, LeBron is better. And I don't like where LeBron went with his politics. It turned me off. And I think it's hard for those people to realize that he's done more. Yeah. And if it's only about championships, I get that. But he has done more. He's done so many more things than Michael ever did. If he would have had his gambling in check, allegedly, maybe they are on par with each other. But right now, as far as accomplishments in the NBA, other than the championships, LeBron James is better.
Anytime somebody, and you know where I stand on this, we could have a 3-hour show just on this, but anytime someone comes to me, Lonzo, and says, well, Jordan has 6 rings, I say back to them very simply, well, if that's the case, if that's what we're basing this argument off of, Jordan's not the GOAT. Jordan's not even close to being the GOAT if we're going off of rings, because there are guys who have 10 rings, and guess what? Michael's retired. He's not catching 10. So if that's the case, your argument, all of a sudden, you just shot it down yourself. But I'll say this, as we're about to hit a break, to your Anthony Davis point, he was a liability offensively, but he's still an anchor on the defense.
You need another guy. He's not your number 2. He's not going back to the Jordan thing. He's not Scottie Pippen.
He won it in 20 though.
But that was a different kind of year. And the other thing is he's not Kyrie. They can bring in Kyrie. You bring in Kyrie, and Rob argued with me about this. If Kyrie was on that team, they beat Denver because you've got that third guy.
D'Lo. They had D'Lo might as well stay at home. So their hole was D'Lo. If they had Kyrie, they had a score.
Right.
Austin Reeves.
I love Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, in my opinion, if I'm Austin Reeves, I'm like, Coach, what is D'Lo even doing on the floor?
Yeah.
Austin
Reeves is going to get
average 24 a game,
and he's going to get better if he's given a chance. Yeah. But you need that third guy if you're going to keep AD for his defense, and you're right, and for his presence underneath the hoop, getting rebounds and stuff, which sometimes he didn't fight like he should have. But you need that third guy, and Kyrie was there watching that last game.
Yep.
You got to bring him in. As weird as he is, the flat earther, sage, all that kind of stuff, you bring him in and you get rid of some of those other guys who didn't help you.
Listen, we're hitting a break. We're talking about the new minor league baseball team coming to Spartanburg up next. But I'll tell you toward the end of the show what I think will happen. I want that to happen, but I don't think it will. I'll tell you what I think happens after we talk to the man from WSPA. I call him the man because he is literally a walking encyclopedia. He's the only version left of an encyclopedia in today's world. It's Pete Yanity. He has inside information on the new minor league baseball team coming to Spartanburg. We'll talk to Pete Yanity next on The Fan.
I agree with you, Josh. America.
Josh, I saw that. I like it.
You've seen my latest video that I put out yesterday.
Where at?
It's on Facebook.
Oh, but I'll look.
It's only 60 seconds.
Only 60.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did see that. I don't know why. And then you shaking your hair. I did see that. You like you're in a old rock Metallica video or something.
I was. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, God. Veronica is a robot. Why are robots on here, guys? You mean to tell me we have robots on the stream?
He is not answering, by the way.
Pete's not?
He could be on the line with somebody else because this is ringing. I'll try again.
I just texted him. It delivered, so his phone's not dead. You know, he's big time and everything. Guys, we can't let freaking robots on here. Kick her off. Kick Veronica. She got to go. Get her off. Carry her off. I'm sorry if I missed y'all's questions. I did miss some earlier. I apologize. I'm bad at that.
I mean, he may not recognize the number because it comes up a weird number.
What's it coming up as?
No, I can't. I when you call out, it comes up a weird. It looks weird. Let's make sure I have the number right.
Okay.
Well, I can do that by looking at my phone.
864.
Don't do that on the air.
Oh, my bad, Pete.
Yeah.
I forgot. Veronica was going to steal Pete's number. At daggone Veronica.
No, I got the right number.
I texted him.
Well, we're coming back in a second. So
he's probably just on the other line, I'm sure. You going to keep calling or you want him to call back?
That's up to you. You're the host. I just push buttons.
Shit.
Oh, that's cool. We're coming back right now, so that's perfect. Hang on.
Back with you on the Rob Brown Show without Rob Brown. Cole Bryson filling in. It's the Rob Brownless
All right.
show.
All right. You've reached your quota. You're way beyond the quota.
I am, but
it's
I'm
just one thing.
extra now.
See, that's
I'm working overtime.
That's one thing you do. You put your name on the show. So then anyone who's if you're not on the show, people have to say your name. It's kind of clever.
Yeah.
Sort of, I guess.
I'm getting paid overtime, by the way, now for every time I say it.
It's either clever making it the Rob Brown Show or just showing that you couldn't come up with something else. I mean, it could be that too.
Washington football team. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
All right, it is the third and final hour of the Rob Brownless Show. Cole Bryson filling in. Good to be with you today. It's time now to bring in our third and final guest of the program. He works for WSPA. His name is Pete Yanity. You know him. I know him. And now Pete knows real barbecue. Can we recap the story of what happened? I believe it was your trip for March Madness, Pete. Is that right, in Dallas?
For the women's Final Four in Dallas, and it was actually on getaway day. It was on the Saturday getaway day. We still had some work to do recapping the game the night before, and I thought, I've got a chance to have lunch. I remember you had suggested something. I took you up on it, and boy, what a recommendation that was.
Okay,
it was
so
just fabulous.
Let me ask you this. People make fun of me now that I've moved back. And when I tell them,
well, they were making fun of you before you left.
That is.
Yeah.
You do know you're about to do something, because you're about to say that Texas barbecue is better than South Carolina barbecue. You're going to start something.
No, all I'm saying is I get made fun of now because people are like, oh, there's not that much difference. Like, you're just being, but Pete, as a witness, please help them understand that it's not even on the same level.
I will say this. I love all barbecue. I welcome all barbecue to my palate, be it in South Carolina, Central North Carolina, down east of North Carolina, Texas, wherever. I will enjoy it all. So it really doesn't matter to me. But what I enjoyed was a fabulous meal out there at the place you recommended.
Yes.
And from everything from a cheese sausage sampling to there were some ribs involved and some other good things. Yeah, that was just tremendous.
You're really the worst time of the day to be talking about it. I apologize.
Pete Yanity. Well, hopefully local barbecue folks, perhaps those that are sponsors of your station, will now reap the benefits of mouths watering everywhere.
Pete Yanity joining us on the Fan Update today. Earlier in the week, Pete, we saw the news break. We had heard that this could happen. We heard, a few months ago that the rumblings could be true about Spartanburg getting a minor league baseball team. First of all, before we get into the history of Spartanburg baseball and all of that, talk to us about what you know about this team. The biggest question that I've had from people, Pete, is, I know this is crazy, but are they going to keep the name the Wood Ducks?
I have a feeling they won't, because the mayor said that they're he talked to one of our reporters. Our news folks are the ones who interviewed him, and I believe they're going to the folks involved in bringing the team here. I do believe they're going to have a naming contest. I can't confirm that, but I made the inference that it will probably not be called that, but I don't know that for a fact.
Shame.
But by the way, real quick, we had Mayor Rice here on the Rob Brown show. And there, I did it too. And he pretty much confirmed that they're probably going to do contest type thing.
Yeah, that was the sense I got, that they would change that. But I know, that's a name that worked for over in that area, I guess. I would suppose out in the wild. And
I'm a fan of it too, though.
The various swamps, you've got a wood duck that's hanging out near Kinston, North Carolina. So
absolutely,
it probably worked for there. But I'm sure that they'll have a contest and they'll come up with a name that works for this area.
All right. Now, what was was it 30? What was the dollar figure that they said they were going to spend on the stadium? Was it 30 million?
Well, they said that the stadium will be part of a $250 million development project.
I was a little off.
I did not see an exact. 3,500 is going to be the seating capacity.
Okay. Gotcha.
That may be where you're thinking of the 30.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Jerome Rice said, and he may have said it on your station as well when he joined you, that they have most of the funding in place. It's just the work now is how to allocate it, I would suppose, not only for the ballpark project or for whatever else they're putting in the development project, but which I know includes some housing and that kind of thing.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot here, Pete, but the main thing that I'm curious of when it comes to that number of the 200 million or whatever it was, is
250.
that 250? Is that, how does that compare to what the Drive did? Is that in the same ballpark or no?
I don't have the answer, although I would suppose that you would have to factor in the fact the Drive project got going around 2005.
Mm-hmm.
They opened the ballpark in 2006. So you'd probably automatically, for inflationary reasons, have a different metric to work off of. But I don't know. I do know the Drive's ballpark holds about 8,000. And so you would think the park itself. But at the same time, I don't believe the way the Drive funded their stadium. And I think the Red Sox did kick in some money on that as my understanding. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not saying that factually. I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head. But the drive, while it was part of, sure, the overall development and growth of downtown Greenville, I don't know that it was necessarily connected to a district project like this one seems to be.
So I guess the reason I asked that, Pete, is and kind of the consensus I've been gathering is people are wanting to know what to expect with a new baseball team and a new stadium in Spartanburg in terms of, is it going to be similar to the Drive? Is it going to be as nice? Because, Spartanburg got, and I hate to say it like this, but they have a bad taste left in their mouth from, I know it wasn't the same level of baseball, but the Spartanburgers came to Spartanburg. They tried. It didn't work out. There's such a rich history in Spartanburg. I think they want it as bad as Greenville got it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think it's apples and oranges for what the Spartanburgers were. And again, it probably didn't help the Spartanburgers were starting up in the summer after COVID. But that's, Wooden Bat college team is just a totally different animal than a minor league team. And I'm not necessarily saying because, the minor league players are going to know them better, but it's just a different operation. These are guys who have, been drafted or signed internationally or signed as undrafted free agents by major league teams. And then there's that feel all the way through. So when they reconfigured the minor leagues a couple of years ago, they flip-flopped the South Atlantic League and the Carolina League, and they moved the South Atlantic League up to high A. That's what the Drive is in. And they took the Carolina League, which used to be a high A, and they moved that to low A. So that's what Kinston, Myrtle Beach, Columbia, Charleston, North Augusta, the others in that league are now. So your low A tends to be where your high school kids and your younger international signee kids over the years end up, because for the high school kids, it's just it's an acclimation for the kid coming out of high school and for the kid coming to the U.S. for the first time. Mm-hmm. The acclimation process, I've been told over the years, works well in that respect. So back in the day when the Spartanburg Phillies were in Spartanburg in 1994, and they were a low A back in the Sally League when it used to be, you have them in Spartanburg, you have the Greenville Braves double A. So now you'll have teams in the two cities that are, again, on different levels. A low A guy sometimes jumps to high A, sometimes jumps over high A to double A. The Texas Rangers are the affiliation in 2021 when they reconfigured everything. They did 10-year affiliation agreements with the teams and the minor league teams. And so the Drive are committed to the Red Sox for, the next 8 years and probably beyond that, because there's a special relationship there. Eventually, when the current arrangement ends, would the Boston Red Sox try to put their low A team in Spartanburg? Then they have two teams close by, and then that could, there'll be a lot of positives in that. Just like for years they had Pawtucket close to Boston, AAA to major league team, in Portland, Maine's where their double A is, and that's not far. So there are a lot of things down the road, but that's just way down the road. But I think the new ballpark, I think any movement toward bringing a minor league team back to Spartanburg was going to need a new ballpark. I just think, Duncan Park has nostalgic feel and all that, but for so many reasons, it just wasn't going to work as a viable entity. Major League Baseball, the city of Spartanburg, and those involved, I'm told, representatives for the city, and also those involved with the Diamond Baseball Holdings, et cetera, reached out to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball did have a hand in kind of orchestrating not only the sale by the two teams the Rangers owned in Hickory and Kinston, but also Major League Baseball, it's my understanding, did have a hand in placing the team, moving it, assisting in the move, because they knew, hey, Spartanburg's come to us, Kinston's going to get new ownership. I don't know anything about their stadium situation there, but obviously, or if the demographics still work for minor league baseball there. But anyway, I'm told Major League Baseball had a hand in lining up all the partners in this to get it moved. When that happens, with the hope being 2025, but here we are on the verge of summer of 23, so they're going to have to get the dirt turning and the cinders put down, to get the ballpark going here to have it ready by then.
Pete Yanity of WSPA joining us on the Fan Upstate. One thing I wanted to ask you, and obviously this was, I believe you said 94, was that the last year of the Phillies? Is that right?
September of 94, and Scott Rowland and Mike Lieberthal were the last two major leaguers to have played for the Spartanburg Phillies, and Scott Rowland hit a home run on that last game on Monday night. It was raining before the game, and they weren't sure they were going to get it in, but it cleared away, and they played the final game, and then they moved to Kannapolis because a fellow named Larry Hedrick, I think, bought the team, and that was an entity. I don't know if Dale Earnhardt Sr. was immediately involved in the ownership, but that's the team that became the Kannapolis Intimidators, and their logo had Dale's mustache on a baseball. But yeah, so and again, I think, and this is you've seen it with Floor Field in Greenville. It's it can be more than just a home for a minor league team. And boy, they've done such a fabulous job, and the folks with the Spartanburg team should, and I know them, certain they would be over and have get them in their ear, because Floor Field is used not only for 70 minor league baseball games a year, but they play a bunch of college games there. They have high school teams come and play. They've got they have wedding receptions there. They've got all kinds of activities. They have, different entities, charitable entities will hold, or corporations will hold field days there. And I think that's where the huge overriding plus. To me, the biggest news that came out of Tuesday, sure, minor league teams coming to town, but a downtown entity that can do lots and lots of things that have nothing to do with baseball, an activity center, if you will, is being built. And that's to me a very huge part of the story.
Well, to go off of that, Pete, Spartanburg's downtown has obviously grown, and it's a lot better than it was. But, for Greenville, I could be wrong, but I feel like for Greenville, it was the drive that really set them apart. And obviously, they have a lot of Greenville has so many things downtown now, but for Spartanburg, do you feel like that could be the same? The baseball stadium being right there below the Marriott could be what really steps Spartanburg's game up downtown?
I think it'll help. It'll help. It's great. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Everything's a good positive in this. I don't know that it suddenly is going to take it to another level.
Right.
And again, I think Greenville, the spectacular success story is you've got to look at three phases, and that is first just what they did between 77 and 90 in terms of just reconfiguring Main Street, planting the trees, getting the Hyatt to get built in the early 80s there. October 1990, the Peace Center gets open, so now you've got a sector between the Hyatt and the Peace Center. It has nothing to do with sports, but then that kind of germinates, restaurants move in. I think the Drive has been a huge part of downtown and vital, particularly to its part of downtown, the West End. Yes, downtown is absolutely better off having the ballpark there as opposed to if they built another one on the outskirts. But I think that it's a companion piece to downtown Greenville, and I think this can be a companion piece to downtown Spartanburg. But yes, it should be a very positive entity to get more folks downtown for lots of reasons than just to go to a minor league baseball game.
Last question before I let you go. You were referencing the Spartanburg Phillies a minute ago and what it meant to Spartanburg. Obviously, when you talk to anybody about the new team, the first thing they say is, the Spartanburg Phillies. What made, in your opinion, the Spartanburg Phillies so special back when you were talking about the names that came through there? What made them so special at that time?
I think it's nostalgic. And again, when they arrived in the 60s, it was a much different world than when they left in the early 90s. And to be brutally frank with you, I don't know that it was all that special toward the end, because a lot of times there weren't a lot of people at the ballpark. And it happens. It's not, it just kind of happens. I think, the Duncan Park's a very quaint park, a lot of history and all that, but it was in kind of a part of town that was kind of off the beaten path. So it for a lot of folks in the Spartanburg area, and again, the growth of Spartanburg kind of changed. So people were moving further away from, downtown. That put them further away from Duncan Park, which isn't downtown, it's a little bit south of town. So there's always going to be nostalgia, but just like anything else, and there's nostalgia for the Greenville Braves. But I think the Drive has now been here for nearly 2 decades, and there will always be a nostalgic piece for them. So I just think every kind of team finds its place. I think there was a lot of connection to the Spartanburg Phillies for a number of reasons. I think it obviously was a very positive thing for the city, but I think the new team can be as well. Dick Allen, Ryan Sandberg, many others, Scott Rowland, as I mentioned, and many other guys came through that, went on to have great careers, and that connection, and the success Pat Williams had as a front office guy, seeing that he was here early in his career, and they did a lot of neat things, and they had a lot of fun out there. So yeah, there's always going to be that tie to that kind of organization.
Pete, we also had a text come in right before you said that about Ryan Sandberg. Literally, my favorite player. The text says my favorite player was Ryan Sandberg, played for Spartanburg. So a lot of thoughts going back to those Spartanburg Philly days. Always a pleasure talking to you. Appreciate your time, and can't wait to talk to you soon.
Good talking to my friend, and thanks so much for having me on. Good luck with everything.
Absolutely. That's Pete Yanity of WSPA getting you set for what is about 2 years out. Is that right?
Yeah. One of my favorite things that the mayor said when he was on is that he wants downtown Spartanburg to be the living room of the county. And this complex would bring that. In other words, a place that you're going to go and hang out, not just watch a baseball game or a concert or something, but check out all the new restaurants and things that are going to be in on the complex. So there's a lot of excitement about this. And usually when something like this is announced, you don't get as much airplay as you're getting, but it's in this building, everyone was talking about it. And I'm sure it's that way across the upstate. So,
and obviously that's the side of town I live on, Lonzo, but people don't realize about Greenville. Downtown Greenville has exploded in the last 5 years, but like Pete said, it's taken 25 years for downtown Greenville to get to where it was. I mean, downtown Greenville's, it's not like 10 years ago it was trash and now all of a sudden it's
back in when Pete was talking about back then is when I first got here, and there were places downtown you didn't go to.
Yeah.
And now you can because of the development and stuff like that. And I remember going to the Greenville Drive Stadium when it first opened up, and it was really cool when it was brand new. Just getting to go into a stadium when it first opens up, that's an awesome experience. And hopefully we'll get to do the same thing when the Spartanburg Stadium opens.
The final 10 minutes of the week, it's 10 rapid fire questions, 1 minute each for Lonzo to end your week. It's the final 10 next on The Fan. And they're good too, man. They're so good.
Yeah, Pete's awesome.
Can you believe it?
It does that every day. Yeah. That's what happens when you're having fun, Cole.
My buddy Brock texted and said, he texted me personally. Hold on. Tell Lonzo I said, great show. You and Lonzo are really good together. I said, well, we worked together for a while.
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah. I mean, we're not picking out rings or anything, but, it's
We're not picking out rings yet?
Not yet. Our courtship needs to continue for a
Trey
few more
Davis
years.
said his favorite player, and then old Pete gave him the hit right after he said it.
He sure did.
Is he not freaking, Lonzo, is he not freaking an encyclopedia, man?
Yeah.
Where does he?
I don't know.
I mean, how does he know all that?
I don't know.
It's like there's just, the things he says, it's like, what in the world is he? And he talks a long time, but it's okay. It's just like.
Yeah, it's not rambling. It's
rambling.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good information and cadence and all that kind of stuff is great. Yeah. There's no droning.
It throws me off. I'm about to say somebody's name.
Yeah. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
So is there a difference?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference.
I about said his name for the whole.
And by the way, it's not who you guys think. So don't even try.
Yeah, y'all have no idea.
Yeah, because they're automatically going to think one certain person, and it's not him.
Who are they thinking? Somebody here?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not somebody here. This is way back. Way back.
There are people, and I'm not saying any of them are on here now, who like to play the shows against each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do that.
That's fun.
Some people fall for that bait.
Do they?
And some people don't. So
the best part of.
And some people use their own bait.
I was telling you that I listened to, or I have the Odyssey app. That's all I listen to because I listen to The Fan in Dallas just more than I do this one. And because it's 24/7 Cowboys talking.
Right.
So they have the best part of their shows is all their shows from 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. They all butt up against each other. The crosstalks between the shows are the best.
Yeah, I mean,
when that show ends, they have it's like 8 of them.
It should be. That's how it should be. It should be healthy. There should be a little bit of rivalry, but just having fun with each other. That's how it should be.
I believe it, and I guess it's like this in all big sports markets. But out there, they go live at 5:30 in the morning, and they're live till 11 p.m. Local, not national. Local.
That is our goal here. I've been told.
But here's the problem. we're not in a big enough market to have.
Market's still growing. We could go live from at least 6 to 7. We could do that.
I told Mark that.
Yeah, because we're only 2 shows away from doing that. So it's just a matter of yeah.
What show's on after this?
Rome.
I like him. I like the guys on before this show.
I know a show that will be better.
Who?
This one.
In the
Yes.
shop?
Yes.
Why wouldn't they do it? Who would y'all have on now, though?
I don't know.
I don't know who's CBS.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name that's on. That's
You'd rather
on
be in the
tonight.
morning?
Yeah.
Why? Morning drive?
Morning drive, yeah. So it's about listenership. I mean, we get decent numbers.
Wonder how big the difference is.
Oh, there's got to be a big difference. I mean, I'm just going from over there and knowing what the difference is between morning and
They have
midday.
a show right now on the Word on WRD.
Yeah, the number 1 personality in all of South Carolina. Well, no, not now. She was done at 10. Tara.
No,
from
I'm
6 to
saying
10.
after Tara.
Yeah, Bill Frady, who is it used to be Vince Coakley, but when our signal expanded, it goes all the way up to Charlotte now. So it was competitive with the show that he's on.
She does great.
So Bill Frady's on now, and then we have National on from 12 to 3, and then we have Charlie James on from 3 to 7.
Charlie James is pretty popular too, though, isn't
Yeah, I like Charlie. Charlie's a good guy. And Tara is the queen of snark. People don't get it as much. She is so snarky.
She does good, though.
Yeah, she does. She and I can pass each other in the hall and not say anything to each other for like a year and a half, and just one quick smart aleck thing,
Really?
and is you share an office together. You know, it's. I think we've got, for the most part, a good bunch of people in the building. So, for the most part.
God, I wish this thing wasn't.
You do know that I'm doing that on purpose, right?
Why does it do it then?
I'll tell you why after the show. I'll tell you why after the show.
It's like a double. Oh, it's me. What are you looking at me like that?
I mean, I can turn my mic on and talk if you need me to.
Well, I thought it was 30 seconds ago, but
No. Again, I'll show you after the break, after the top, and tell
It
you
won't
why.
matter.
No, but you'll be back next Friday or the
Doesn't matter.
9th or whenever that is. So technically, I will explain to you why I have to do it.
all right. We've got the final 10. It's supposed to be a minute each, but we're short on time.
Yeah, because
We've got like 20
we
seconds.
ain't got 10.
But we've got like 6, right? Is that right?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, so it is time for the final 10. It's supposed to be the final 10 minutes of the week, but it's 5.5. Now it's a little bit less. Lonzo, are you ready?
Yeah, I was born ready.
Are you ready? Final 10. Rapid fire questions to end your week. You can get them in on the text line, but you better get them in fast. 71307. Start your message with fan. Text number 1. At what age, or question number 1, rapid fire. At what age do you transition from a head nod to a heads up? What I mean is you walk by somebody in the hallway, in the restroom. If it's an older person, what do? You do this. Stream, you can see me, you give them a head nod. If it's a younger fella versus younger fella, what do? You do the what's up?
I'll say,
goes up.
so this is not about the person giving the nod. It's about who you're nodding to.
That's correct. At what age does the person, because if you know what I mean? If it's
No,
a
I
person-
absolutely. So driving the car, I got a cool nod. Anybody who has a cool
go
car,
up or down?
got to go up.
Okay, so
yeah.
you're still young enough.
Yeah. I'm still
What
doing
if the
that.
guy's like 90. Would you go up?
If you're in that car, you're still doing that.
Really?
Because it's
What
about.
if it's just a regular restroom at the QT? You run into an older guy. What are you doing? Up or down?
I don't make eye contact in
Oh,
the
you don't?
restroom.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just
right.
that's just weird.
Number 2, do you get offended when people criticize the media, even though you are only at the local level of the media? Yes or
No, because I constantly criticize media myself.
I do too. All right,
And
number 3.
they're making of narratives and deciding what's going to be what, especially in sports media.
I agree. So far, we're on the same page. Rapid fire number 3 on the final 10 today. Will this be the final year for the King?
No.
Okay.
No, it will not.
I hope you're right. Would it be you know what? I'll go a double. We'll keep the same topic for question 4 rapid fire. Would it be a bad look for the King to say, okay, the reports are that there is some interest? I'm going to go to Golden State. Would it be a bad look? Yes or no?
Yes, it would definitely be a bad look. You would be no different than KD if you do that.
Really? Really? You think so?
Yeah. It's not. No,
All right,
don't do
rapid fire number 5. Over, under.
I just want to point out, by the way, I will never root for Golden State because I lost a bet and had to wear a dress on the air because of that. So screw you, Golden State.
Final 10 rapid fire question number 5. Over, under on the Carolina Panthers total wins this season, 7.5.
Over.
Ooh, Bryce Young.
Even though he's short. He's short, but he has a really good offensive line.
Something about you Ohio people that keep getting hung up on that.
Well, because of who should have been number 1.
I know.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But anyway, the thing is, Bryce Young, from everything we're told, he's very smart. Rob and I have an argument about this. He doesn't think he starts the very first game. I do.
Question 6, rapid fire in the final 10. Sean Payton, first year in Denver. Over, under for Sean Payton, 8.5.
Under.
I'm going under.
Yeah, they're playing in the West, and look at who your quarterback is. We'll see if he actually rides through the entire season, because I'm not sure he will.
Definitely under there. Going back to the last topic, question number 7 in the rapid fire is, who has the better NFL career, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young?
C.J. Stroud.
Really?
Because I can't.
Cash the checks?
Yeah, because here's the thing. I have never said I'm unbiased, and I'm not going to act like I am. I'm biased towards C.J. Stroud.
You think it because you want it to happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
I answered the question honestly.
Fair enough. All right, question number 8 in rapid fire. 3 to go on the final 10. Would you rather listen to a South Carolina Gamecock fan complain about their schedule every year, or would you rather listen to a Clemson fan complain about their play calling? You pick. Question number 8.
I would rather listen to the Clemson fan
really?
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I can laugh at them the entire time.
I say Carolina's schedule because this time every year is when we hear the same thing every year.
See, I don't hear that.
Y'all seen how hard our schedule is?
I don't hear that. I only hear the Clemson complaints.
Open your freaking ears.
Okay. Nice restraint there. If your cheeks got all red and everything, I could tell where you wanted to go.
Have you heard how hard our schedule is this year?
By the way, I don't know if you guys knew it.
Georgia.
Hey, ask Cole what team he roots for. Go ahead, ask him.
We play Arkansas. We got Mississippi State again this year.
Why do they sound like they're from Alabama? That's not
man.
A South Carolina accent.
Rapid fire question number 9. Big game setting. At home alone, you're grilling out at home with your family, or the biggest game ever, are you wanting to be in a large crowd environment?
Well, I think we've talked about this quite a bit today about my social anxiety. I want to be at home.
Really? So even like if your team's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's
don't we don't have to go there because we know it happens.
Yeah, we do. We do know it happens a lot.
Anyways.
But we also know how expensive it is to go to the Super Bowl.
I'm
saying
like at a big restaurant, TV bar.
Nah, I'd rather do it at home. You know why? I don't have to wait to go to the restroom.
Or to get food.
Yeah, that's pretty important to me. So yeah.
Last but finally not least, the most hated commissioner, Rob Manfred or Roger Goodell?
I love Roger Goodell, so I'm not going to go with that because I'm a contrarian, and I guess that's the only reason why.
I was going to say, why do you love Roger? Just because everybody else hates him?
Well, part of it is that, and I think he has been able to handle the booze with poise, and has turned it on people. And they're just like in wrestling, they're not smart enough to understand the psychology that the more booze you give him, the happier it makes him. And I like him just for that reason, and also because Rob can't stand him. So. And we haven't said
Brown, not Rob Manfred.
Yeah, we haven't said Rob Brown. So I'm going to go with Manfred as because you only gave me 2 choices. I'm going to go with Manfred.
I think overall the baseball guys hate Manfred more than the football guys hate Goodell. But general consensus, I think Goodell's the one who gets the boost.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. It's the power of the mass mind. People think you should boo him. There are people, loud voices, who say you shouldn't like him. So the crowd that has to go along with the crowd automatically says, yeah, I don't like him either. And you ask them why, and they have nothing.
So what we've learned today is Lonzo just goes opposite of the crowd. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't need popular opinions.
As you have your WORD shirt on.
Well, Because it's cold in
Good
here.
one. Good one, Lonzo.
You know why?
Good one.
You know why? Because it's cold in here.
See you in 2 weeks. I'll be back. Sorry if you hate me. I'll be back, guy. I miss Rob. Rob will be back Monday. See y'all next week. It's the Fan Upstate, the Rob Brownless Show. It's been my pleasure, Cole Bryson, filling in with Lonzo on the Fan Upstate.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being on the stream. Rob and I will be back Tuesday. We are off Monday.
Right.
So thanks for Cole being on the show. And it was great. It was a quick 3 hours. And have a great weekend, everybody.